All right. Good evening, and welcome to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina tonight. My name's Caleb Beissert. It is a pleasure to be your host. Thanks so much for tuning in here on the live stream, where we bring a little love and poetry and music and creativity of all sorts into your homes or wherever you may be in these times. We appreciate you spending them with us here on Wednesday evenings, 8:30 Eastern Time to midnight every Wednesday. And we got a great show for you tonight. Our Flowers Rivera is our featured poet, and we're going to get to her in just a little bit. I'm going to warm things up with some poetry. But I do want to give a shout out to our technical director, Morgan Beissert, and our sponsor, of course, Sovereign Kava. Shout out to everyone tuning in down at the bar tonight. We are open, patio seating and to-go orders, mask required. Go down there, get your Kava and other weird and wonderful drinks. So cheers to y'all. Shout out to Bark and Madrano on the bar tonight. Give it up for your barkeeps. Whoa. That was good. They like the barkeeps. I can hear y'all all the way over here. Good stuff. All right, cool. We're going to get down to it. Get rock and rolling here tonight. Of course, we appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. If you're watching, if you're listening, send us a comment. Say what's up. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know how you're doing out there. So keep the comments rolling in. And, of course, keep it locked here every Wednesday night. All right, let's warm it up with the poems. This first one, these are some original poems. This one's called Mariposa. Why is the Spanish word for butterfly more beautiful? Perhaps because the sun in Spain shimmers as clovers in sea and the milkweed grows in bunches in the pastures and along dirt roads. Perhaps because language shapes my tongue into an arrow. Other languages have words for what I can't say in this poem, and some are lost. Only through this arrangement do I begin to express anything close to wonder of the arid plains of Cordoba or the cold beer and smell of cooked fish on the beaches at Malaga, or the old woman living in the hills above Granada, following its winding rivers, carrying orange blossoms like bridal veils, some happy party upstream from here, and the faint shouts of laughter. A flicker of firelight dashes across the treetops. We must be so close to beauty. A mariposa always remembers where it's from. Generations of them fly home over flowers and tundra. Why didn't we see them as beautifully when words first cussed our lips? Why do our words fail us? It takes only 12 days for a caterpillar to transform from chrysalis, sleeping in milky white, to butterfly, wings spread, unfolding ministry of the mariposa. This one's called To Water. I water the garden with an old tin watering can. When the can is empty, I stand still and listen to the earth drink in the water. The fragrance of good dirt lifts to the air as in gratitude. Little wilted greens already become full again to stand tall, to reach for afternoon sun as if hoping for such a plain answer. I straighten my spine and reach into unknown air. All right. Very good. Thanks for riding with us, giving y'all a minute to get tuned in here. This is Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Keep it locked here. We got Our Flowers Rivera coming up in just a little bit. I'm going to do a couple more poems for you. This one's called ASHEVILLE Supply. We will not be the same. Open notebook and whiskey and beer and ashtray on table. With you gone from yourself, it all turns to stone. An oak leaf curls over days in winter. Spring brings rain that feeds grass and flowers. Bees sing, animals fuck. Graves fade away, and mushrooms explore forever. This pen is a leaf of grass, mowed down, hero of the suburbs. In Molly Crystal dreams, he cruised the neighborhoods of the only night. And this one's called Autumn Guzzle in Spring. In the leaves we were beautiful until the lights came on. I'm still amused as a deer works in the leaves. The bandit gets away. We make out and roll in the leaves. Uncle Walt studied grass. Now we write in his leaves. The pages were torn out, so we made up the story about the leaves. The wildcat made no sound when it walked through the leaves. I studied everything, but nothing was enough. Now I'm dead in the leaves. The shadows get long, and strangers glance away as we play in the leaves. And I'll do one more short one. This is called Forest Elegy number 2. Last night, while you were dreaming, the wildcat saw an owl rise from the bushes in front of me, struggling with rabbit, to the hollow tree, to the quiet of the blue moon night, with its power lines and steeples. All right. A little something to get us going there. You're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks so much for the comments. What's up, Zan? It's good to see y'all commenting. Keep them flowing. We love to hear from our viewers. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know what you think. And, of course, if you have any questions for our performers, feel free to leave those in the comments, too. We'll try to get to them. Anyway, we have a great poet up next for you. Our Flowers Rivera is in the house tonight. The virtual house, of course. And hopefully the literal house too. But anyway, this is her first book, Troubling Accents. Our Flowers Rivera is a Mississippi native who now lives in McKinney, Texas. Her second collection of poetry, Heathen, was released in February 2015. It was selected as the winner of the 2015 Naomi Long Magid Poetry Award, as well as the 2016 Mississippi Institute of Arts and Letters Poetry Award. Rivera's debut collection of poetry, Troubling Accents, received a nomination from the Mississippi Institute of Arts and Letters and was selected by the Texas Association of Authors as its 2014 Poetry Book of the Year. It was published by Xavier Review Press in July 2013. Dr. Rivera has a PhD from Binghamton University and MA from Hollins University and MS from Georgia State University and a BS from the University of Georgia. Her most recent poems are from her unpublished collection titled Gaynette Undaunted, about the life of her maternal grandmother. Those poems have been featured in the Langston Hughes Review, Cutbank Literary Journal, and All Accounts and Admixtures. You can view more of her work by visiting promethea.com, www.promethea.com. We'll post that link as well. Before we get our feature on here, y'all, if you've seen this before, you know the drill. You have to make a whole bunch of noise. And we don't care that we can't hear you. We want you to make a bunch of noise wherever you are. If you're at home, sitting at home, or if you're out in public somewhere, no difference. We want you to jump up and down and scream and shout and just make a whole bunch of noise in general for our featured poet tonight. Y'all give it up for Dr. R. Flowers Rivera. Hey, Dr. Rivera.
Hello.
So good to see you.
Good
How are you tonight?
I'm good.
Good. Well, it is an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. It's been quite a while. We had you in Asheville at least once before at the Asheville Poetry Series, and hopefully we'll have you again in person one day before too long, once we can start having poetry tours again and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
yes,
I would love to.
awesome. Well, I know you're working on the new book, and you'll be sharing from some of that tonight. One of the things I love about your work is that it takes the time to step back and look at history, both personal history and all of history, and that history that takes us to the present moment in your poetry. And I understand your new collection kind of continues in that vein, at least in the personal history vein.
Very much so. This collection is tentatively titled Gaynette Undaunted. It is about the life of my maternal grandmother, who was born in 1916. Her name was Gaynette Cox Flowers Pugh. She died when she was 102, so you can only imagine the history that she lived through and was a part of. So it just feels like a commitment that I have informally made to her, that I just want to do this and get it right.
Absolutely. That's an important work, to tell the story of someone who it sounds like had a lot of story to tell.
Very much so. It's important to document the everyday lives of all women. But for me, being a Black woman from Mississippi, it has added import because our contributions are often erased.
Very much indeed.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That seems so you're gonna be reading some of that tonight, and maybe some old stuff as well.
I will throw in one from each books if you like.
Yeah, I'd love that. Cool.
Okay.
Well, that seems like a good enough segue. But before you get started with the reading, I do want to mention that you're happy to take questions from the viewers. So if any of our viewers have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and we'll be happy to get to those after the reading. But without further ado, please give one more big warm welcome for R. Flowers Rivera.
Okay, so I am going to start off with a poem from Heathen, which is my second collection, published by Lotus Press via Wayne State University. And it's a kind of reclaiming of mythology. And so it's a kind of revisionist history. This one is Lita to her younger self. You gave yourself willingly after you saw snowdrift through an arc of light and mist like souls to dark earth without shame. This memento mori became the bent cage that set you free. Soon you will find that the cold stone in your chest will also become a comfort. Desire loves what it wants without reason, faithless. You will forget your other younger selves, the ones who followed rules. Try not to be afraid. Who you once were is gone. Lita, you will remember feathers against skin, acts that had no name, joy and base relief, painting songs without slumber. Yes, bliss once spoke your name. One day soon, you will begin to waste slow hours watching the horizon, cradling 4 children, yearning for any hint of pearlescent water and sky, as you dream the only dream that fire soothes. You will swear each remembrance of that day your last, as the swan once again extends its wings. And I will read one from Troubling Accents, which was published by Xavier University Press from New Orleans. Back up off me. I must inform you that I am a middle-class thug, a code-switching whore, dressed in Chanel. I live between the lines, cussing out the waiter for bad service, then still leaving a tip. I am a rope and plank bridge stretched between 2 sides, swinging topsy-turvy before crashing. I say all this not to scare you, but to give fair warning for when I snap, dropping your ass. I'm your average Black woman with cockleburr hair, needing a 6-week touch-up, no lie. Now for the manuscript that is nearing completion, Gaynet Undaunted. The first poem that I will read is called Pocketbook. So, of course, you think of grandmothers with pocketbooks, but within Southern vernacular, your pocketbook was also your sex organ. Okay, let's go with that. So, pocketbook. Purse, no longer a purse, but a portable drugstore. Cellophane, blue, white rectangle, goody headache powders, Werther's Echt and peppermints, half wrapped, speckled with grit. S&H green stamps, loose, ready to be licked and affixed in a booklet saved for some far-off luxury, some day of which we can only dream. I am never without a razor, needle, and thread. How many times have my own hands saved my life? Bright white tissues small blankets saved for snotty noses, errant tears, camphor for chests, and the fresh tingle of cold sores, which somehow only appear at the bottom right corner of my lip like a grotesque beauty mark. These flare-ups coincide with conversations I'd rather not have about the small gold whorls, the stress clasp holding together my coin purse, filled a few dollars and change, only for a moment, then empty again. I anticipate everything that could go wrong while I try to keep on living, taking precaution to be ready any day of the week, for I've seen the way my people live, and it breaks the weak. One padded modest mattress waiting to stop the flow. In my palms, I hold tight to the straps of this arsenal, poised to stem the blood of any wound or that of my other pocketbook. Next, I'm going to read Camelot. There is no city on the hill, no Camelot for Black women from Mississippi. Just the usual, unusual preoccupation with food, rent, and men who say they love you, but are prone to fucking everything. Darling, that would include you. So you can trust me, I'm not crazy or bitter, just perched on the verge, edge of every salvation, just anxious about practical matters like sewing cloth for dresses and children who need food for the pot, always the next thing to be procured. I send the children to Grove Hill and move out. No Camelot, no romance, no love, only the law, which is the law and says we must live apart for 6 months. Have you ever tried to live without what gives your life meaning for 6 days, much less 6 months? But 6 months is how I will earn my divorce, as I yearn for the sound of my children's voices. After the last time of not coming home and no paycheck, he signed over the house, but didn't bother to move out. So I have to do the heavy lifting for us both. I asked Boudreaux to help me transport my chest to the train depot. He stepped back and away, hemmed and hawed and hemmed, a hymn of indifference, as if he had known me, my story. I've learned men are weak about practical matters. Boudreaux said he'd have to ask Charles, when what he should have asked him was why come he couldn't keep his junk in his pants and bring home his pay. He had to ask Charles like I was somebody's wayward child, not a soon-to-be divorcee, another woman seeking preservation. We were a standoff in the dust. All he mumbled was, I can't interfere with a man and his lady. It was some bullshit like that. Mannish boy pastoral. My grandmother had 4 children. My mother is the only remaining one who's alive. My uncle Fred died in a car accident. My aunt Dot died of stroke. My uncle Charles died of a stroke, most likely a complication from AIDS. But this has both Sonny Boy, which is my uncle Charles, and Fred in it. Mannish boy pastoral. A vision black, The blackest black against white cotton fields. See bark white teeth flying like the underbelly of a swallowtail kite. All I will think of is my sons, Sonny Boy and Fred. Sonny Boy, my Charles, channels all his mind into the tight spaces between the black and white fingerboard. When his daddy slapped me flat, his teeth bit through his father's calf. I smiled. Then I knew. Fred was different. He was the contention between salt water, fresh, a reservoir of deceptive laughter, easy with all except that dark night on Airport Road and the fury of a bullfrog's steady silence as the car crashed like glass shards through his beautiful, beautiful lungs. My mother's name is Anne, and so I am her eldest girl. So this was one of the conversations about me getting 3 advanced degrees. Baby Anne's eldest. Books don't keep you warm and won't give us no grandchildren. All that school you hurry after won't pay no rent. You understand? I only say this 'cause I love you. You're way too smart for your own good. This is what I tell her. The girl cousins lower their eyes and sigh. I continue. Why can't you be glad for what you have? This man who makes good money, hand over fist, does not hit you, and comes home every night to share your bed. Some inconveniences you must learn to tolerate. But I want to spit on the floor, stamp and yell, am I not a whore? If not in name, in deed, the cost would be the same. Who spreads their legs for cash with no joy? Not even dollars would be able to take away that pain. And her second husband was named Richard. And so this is about Mobile, 1985. Rainstorm, a fallen tree angled away from the roof, bucket of black-eyed Susans in my hand, plant after all chance of frost is gone. Toward the yellowing sun, a smallish wolf down the middle of the potted blackness of Wellington. It stares my way without breaking stride. Dress service, Richard, his gruffness not unexpected, sits unmoving, stolid in his chair. Go ahead, Gay. I'll go back with you this evening. Backing the Navy Coupe de Ville down the drive becomes an ancestral calling of names as faith, as protection. But what can I offer my husband for supper? To struggle well is what we ask. The displacement of his body announces he is gone. For no reason, I walk into the kitchen, move the percolator from one burner to another, and lift the lid to see water, dirt, death. Who decides which man is worthy of breath? Who names this feeling? I know he was my husband, not my friend. All our days, I'll remember Richard. And one last one. This is about her home place, which was Grove Hill, Alabama. Home place, past tense, clear dusk. I remember a feeling, an image, grit in the eye, a place embedded like a splinter I can't quite reach. Grove Hill, a voice buried within that refuses to answer back. All my life in any place for no reason. My grandfather's 280 acres call out my name, free and clear. Sister Gary, gay, gaynette, but all those stale breaths have gone somewhere else. Cool dirt, open graves, I have outlived them all. My recollections remain imperfect as I tell and retell the tales as they are or were, not necessarily as I would have chosen them. A people without luster, nap-worn, yet proud, unlearned, but not ignorant. The Grove Hill of memory has plum-flowered chinaberry trees duning the fence line. Just off Highway 43, it's still blooming. It still holds last year's ornaments. Birds scatter the golden berries everywhere. I know I'm nearing home. Drought. We endured difficult times growing from that hard red clay. I'm still here. Just to be clear, being hot and humid ain't suffering. All grief is not death. Thank you.
Fantastic reading. Thank you so much, Dr. Rivera. I am so glad our say what?
Just call me Raquel.
Oh yeah, of course. Raquel, thank you. I'm so glad our viewers got to see that and hear that. That was just a fantastic reading. And what history and what story your grandmother had, and what a big a challenge, but also a joy it must be to write about that.
It most certainly is. And she managed to raise 4 children on her own as a seamstress and factory worker and domestic, and working as a secretary for the NAACP, the first
Wow.
chapter along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So
Wow.
it's she was able to completely change the entire trajectory of our family. And
Mm-hmm.
she only had an 8th grade education. Nonetheless, she went back and got her own degree at 65 from the University of South Alabama. So
Wow.
she was a force to be reckoned with.
Yes. Wow. Amazing. Force, and it sounds like she had a hand in history, and yeah, that's amazing. I do want to invite questions from our viewers. I'm not sure if we have any questions. We'll post those. I had one. I was thinking about. I kept thinking about the challenge of sort of telling your grandmother's story through poetry. And I translate poetry, and I I sort of there's this pressure when you're translating, to really get it right, because it's someone else's story, that kind of it comes through your lens, of course. But I wonder if maybe that's a similar sort of pressure, and how do you approach telling that through poetry? And are there certain poetry forms or techniques that help you on this project?
Okay, so the most valuable resource, of course, was my gran herself. I recorded her um,
Oh,
during
wonderful.
long, thoughtful conversations, and I'm grateful to have those. But she's also on the oral history websites of, I wanted to say it's the or Ole Miss. I want to say it's in there. So she has two of those a decade apart. More than
Wow.
that, though, is just making sure that the thoughts represent her actual ideals. And
Mm-hmm.
more than that, just making sure that I'm embodying the rules without co opting it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she was one who could stand flat footed without any prompting and give an impromptu speech. So the least I could do is get the prosody right, the rhythm right, the vernacular right, make sure all
Mm-hmm.
the historical details are lined up accurately. So I, always the pressure to get it right.
Right, right.
The control on the front end, but once it goes to the reader, it is what it is.
Of course. Yeah. And yeah, I can't even imagine the challenges she must have faced, being a black woman from Mississippi in 1916, you said?
She
It,
was born in 1916 in Grove Hill and moved
yeah.
to Gulfport, Mississippi, where I'm from,
Okay.
home place, when she went to look after her grandmother who was dying. And so she and her sister Lilybell moved there, married two cousins, one Charles Flowers and sorry, the husband of my great aunt Belle. So from
Oh,
then on,
okay.
they were grown.
And is that where flowers comes from?
Yes,
Cool. That's
definitely
that.
wanted to insert it into my own name.
Of course, yeah, and honor that. I do think it's so important to uh to remember the elders, the ancestors, and whatnot.
Yes, it was
Um,
just useful in the sense of coming off port or all Southern culture. Whose child are you? Who's your daddy? Who's your mama? Who's your grandmother? So they could
right.
figure out what you were from. Plus, in true Southern stereotype, is it also signaled to cousins that were elsewhere in the city that we may not have necessarily met that they should not attempt to date us. So
Oh, that's funny.
just making sure that there was nothing untoward
Don't
happening. We got to
yeah, yeah,
middle
yeah.
school.
Don't mess with that pocketbook. Right.
Exactly. So
That's fantastic. Well, also, I guess I was wondering, are there, is it, are the poems pretty much taking whatever shape, you just let them, or are you putting certain restrictions on the poems, like as far as forms or, like writing techniques or anything like that?
I tend to use forms only when I believe that the content is too emotional and I don't want to turn it into just vomiting upon the page.
Of
So
course, yeah.
form makes you take different choices, different line breaks, and controls the material. And plus, you see a kind of synthesis of ideas, um,
Mm-hmm.
reifying questions I have that way I can blend them into as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That I love that approach. Yeah. Only
But you
for emotional, really, really heavily emotional stuff, because that is the stuff that's so difficult to write. I mean, I always, if I'm approaching an emotional subject, the first thing I do is take some time, um, because it's just it's gonna be this emotional vomit if you don't. But that's a great idea to give it some structure, impose some limits on it. Fascinating. Very good. Let me see if we have any other questions. We had one other question. Are you still in Mississippi? And I think I know the answer to that, but you go ahead.
I currently live north of Dallas in a suburb called McKinney, and it's a great place to raise my boys. But we do go home very frequently. I went back about 2 weeks ago, and saying as a precursor, I've had both of my shots or vaccination,
Right.
and I am clear. So it was
Yay.
to go down and see my mom and some cousins that I hadn't been able to see in a year. So that I needed that touchstone. So it's a good thing.
I
To
hear that.
the pines and the beaches and be on home turf.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, good for you. I'm sure there will be many more happy reunions over the next year or so, because I know a lot of people haven't been able to travel. But glad you got vaccinated. I'm about to do that myself, and encourage everyone else to, of course. And I also want to encourage everyone to keep up with Our Flowers Rivera. You can check out Raquel's work at promethea.com. And, of course, you can find the books there or on Amazon or independent booksellers as well. So buy the books, and we look forward to the new book, Gaynet Undaunted, coming out, and hopefully we can have you in Asheville for a book release for that or something.
I can't wait to hit the road again.
Awesome. Cool. Well,
thank you for having me.
Raquel, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to do this, and good luck with the new book and everything else, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, y'all give it up one more time for Our Flowers Rivera. Fantastic. That was Our Flowers Rivera. And I'm Caleb Beissert, and you're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks for joining us tonight. Y'all give it up one more time for the featured poet. And there's that link right there. We'll post that in the comments as well, but y'all check out the website there. We appreciate y'all supporting our poets. We love to support our poets here. And speaking of support, thank you to Sovereign Kava for sponsoring this open mic, so we've been able to keep this going in the virtual realm. We'll be bringing it back in person at the Kava bar here in Asheville before too long. And of course, we hope to keep something going here in the virtual realms. So y'all keep going with us. Support this virtual show. Your support means a lot. Keep the likes, comments, and shares going. Keep performing, and keep tuning in here each and every Wednesday night. Very good. I think we got some folks up next. We got people tuning in. We got Zen. What do we got? Zen, Kevin, Rachel, Christopher, Jason, Phil. Who else do we have? Am I missing some people? I might be missing some people. But if you're signed up tonight, make sure to follow that StreamYard link. Enter your name and enter the broadcast studio so we know you're ready to go here. We'll get you on screen as soon as possible. Speaking of which, we got our next performer coming up right now. Let's see if we can get Zen connected. You know what you got to do. Jump up and down and make a whole bunch of noise. Give it up! What's up, Zen?
Hey, Caleb. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing open mic with all my favorite people. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. And, boy, Rachel was Raquel, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Flowers. She, just powerful. I mean, and it made me think that that it's interesting how difficult, I myself as a poet have avoided the strongly personal, familial type of works, only because I'm not sure I could do it justice. But boy, she
Sure.
hits a fucking nail.
I'll say.
Just pours it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I was thinking too that at some point you could have an open mic where people finish by basically saying the process that they use, because that was interesting, how she would take some templates where, or even how you have to, in translation, think with two minds.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tough sell. Are you doing yourself justice? Are you doing the original poet justice? Are you doing your audience justice?
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a tricky balance to strike.
Yeah.
But it can be done. As Raquel showed us, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Certainly. Well, very good. Well, maybe you could share some work and tell us about your process.
Oh, I don't know that I'm ready to. I even though I think it's a good idea, I didn't say me personally.
I gotcha.
Well, the thing is I've written several poems about writing poems. How it comes up and how you transmute it, all this energy into a solid object, and it's tough.
Yeah,
but
it is. And also, I don't know, it's hard for me to talk about a general thing like that too, because I'm always trying different stuff. I mean, it's like,
right.
What does the poem require?
Yeah,
not what does your poetry, what techniques or what anything does it require, but it's more about the poem, and letting.
So maybe that's it. Not talk about poetry in general, but talk about a specific poem and where you had to make concessions, where you had what you had to do to get the right translation, the right feeling. You wanted to say. There's many times in a poem I want to say something, but the rhythm of it or the sound of it is like just talking, and that's not what I'm after. I'm after a way of releasing, compacting it and then releasing it into the wild, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's just being true to the poem, really. And I think like Raquel brought up a really good point about her rule for using poetic forms.
Right.
To approach emotional material. I mean, that really is poem specific,
Yeah.
So So
exactly.
makes a lot of sense. Cool. Well, did you bring some poetry tonight, or ray gun, or what?
No.
I
always
kind
have
of computer helmet or something. What do you have?
I always have toys. I've got just this. This is actually
just flying around.
Yeah, just flying around. This is actually a hair removal tool that I transmuted into a toy thing. But more importantly,
does it speak poetry?
Oh, it has a secret button.
Okay. Oh my God. Zen Sutherland, y'all.
It's always something with me.
Very nice. I love it. Zen program finds these weird electronics and programs them to make them even weirder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Well,
God
toys are weird enough for our children. I mean, these colorful plastic heavy metal stuff that we throw at children to entertain them, and it's not necessarily development. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have kids, so I can play with toys as if I'm still one.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the effect they're having on your developing brain.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
but I got a few things to read. I'll try them out. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll turn it over to you, Zen. Everybody, give one more round of applause for Zen Sutherland.
Thanks, everybody. And the first poem that I'd like to do isn't by me. Was a song or part of a song on a '78 record that I heard many years ago. The words are by Ballard MacDonald, who was born in 1919, who was a poet, writer, musician, person, and I like the flow. We were talking about the flow of poetry, and this is fairly vernacular, but it's also beautiful in its way, and it accompanied a song called "Somebody Else, Not Me," and it was sung by people like Phil Harris, Pee Wee Hunt, in different iterations and versions, and I've always held it in the back of my head, and I love it. Anyway, it's called "Somebody Else, Not Me." Great moments come to every man, some situation where he can attain such fame that folks acclaim the very mention of his name. Now a circus played our town one day, and 3 Bengal tigers got away. The manager looked right at me, said he, "Here's your opportunity. Somebody's got to go get them cats. Somebody's got to go. 'Cause the tiger man is sick in bed. So just grab your hat and coat," he said. "'Cause the man that brings them cats back alive, a real hero's gonna be. That's a wonderful chance for somebody, but that's somebody else, not me." 2 ivory bones with ebony dots off time leads to cemetery lots, and the game last night brought on a fight that ended up in pistol shots. Now I was furthest from the door. The others all got there before, and a body on the floor lay dead. Through the transom, someone said, "Someone's got to stay behind." That's right. Someone must remain. And when the police officers, when they arrive, just explain how come your brother ain't alive. Now that man who stays behind and sees this through is going to gain notoriety. And that's a wonderful chance for somebody, but that's somebody else, not me. Thank you. And now a few poems by me. I'll keep it kind of short. These are all new stuff, just trying stuff out, maybe not hammered out perfectly. This one's called "Nobody's Gonna Remember." Nobody's going to remember this poem after the revolution hits. Nobody remembers the conversation just before the speeding truck plows into the back of your car flying down the interstate. Only that spinning feeling, the loss of control as the car lurches and squeals, and that squeezes you around like a third world mother slapping laundry against a rock. But the truth is, it's 11:30. Of revolution. Both sides want it. Both sides will settle for nothing less than a complete reversal, a turning inside out where we are. One side wants it soft and social and economic, and the other side wants it hard like bullets and dollars. Both sides see it preserving the value of a society they're willing to destroy to get there. It's not that hard rain that Dylan promised 60 years late, 10,000 talkers whose tongues were all broken. We only remember what we were chanting at the enemy, our hate and disgust, not this poem or the other tremors before the quake or the fearful sea backing away before the tsunami. We will look back in the days of darkness and sand and forget that we had built things, sturdy things, and we had fresh running water, and we had the voices of families from far away, from many days' walk where we were. We'll forget that men had beards for fashion rather than a way to shave themselves. We'll forget grocery stores and farmers markets full of promise, making healthy choices rather than just to feed ourselves. We won't lament the lack of functioning hospitals, delivery systems, and businesses, and TVs, phones, and computers. The walls themselves were brimming with power that issued heat and convenience and music, because we don't have that now. We will only remember that we were right. Our outraged blood and hatred and indignation justified tearing it all down with a vague notion to rebuild, but forgot to keep the tools to do so, forgot that it was a compromise that built society, forgot our values lacked promise without love, forgot our promises lacked value without love, forgot even why we're fighting, because now we're all defense. Nobody's going to remember this poem because it says nothing new, nothing we didn't already know, nothing that didn't already shake us to the bones of our toes, emptying of the bowels into the plate of tomorrow or the tears of yesterday. Nobody's going to remember who started the war. That'll be the opinions of historians deciding winners and losers to create revolution anew. So this is an experimental kind of poem called Babies Don't Know If a Carrot Can Work. Try it. Test it. These first senses, smell and taste. Try it. Test it. We start small. Babies don't know. Start tiny like ourselves, reaching for bigger things. Start small, detecting the actual shape of molecules, key and lock with nose and tongue. Try it. Test it. The spoon tastes different from time to time. Walls taste bitter. Put everything in your mouth. Darkness has no taste. Test it. Try it. Does the cat work? Test it. Try to remove it from the photo background of the living room. Squeeze it when it comes by. Lick it. Slobber it. Does it fold or change color? Try it. Test it. How is it different from mother's face? The rug seems friendly, but it doesn't let you grab it. The rug seems unfriendly. Lego and macaroni taste the same, but nobody fishes macaroni out of your mouth. Nothing seems dangerous yet. Nothing has meaning until it does. Start small. Safe surprises, we laugh. Unsure surprises, we cry. Hunger is discomfort of some kind. Do things in the mouth work? Test it. Try it. Water seems to work, but it breaks easily, and the rug eats it. There is no moon yet because the sky is still one thing. You can't touch any of it. You can't put it in your mouth. Dark and light inseparably fused until it isn't. Can a carrot work? Test it. Try it. Nothing is permanent until it is. And the last one I'm going to do is one that I wrote 2 nights ago. It's called I Heard the Restless Wind Last Night. Like a thief, the wind last night, I heard it, tapping softly at the edges, pressing on my bedroom window, testing the security of my sleep, scratching at the edges of my locked door and my sanity. The house creaked. The birds outside hunkered down and faced away as the basement whistled low. The wind seemed unshaven and vaguely malicious, seeking crimes of opportunity. Last night, the wind snuck in and killed my sister. I don't have a sister, and I never did, but the wind found cracks in my dreams and let itself in like an unwelcome guest, like a hungry beast. The wind toyed with her long chestnut hair and surrounded and obscured her sweetness, whispering lies about me I couldn't quite catch. That restless wind swirled around her, stealing bits of her soft smile and loving eyes, taking color from her face, erasing the gentle touch of her slender fingers. The wind caressing her body with her own clothes, around and around, until less and less of her could be seen, until she was only the footsteps in dust on the wooden floor. The wind stole my sweetest memory. I didn't know I had, because the wind stole it. She was beautiful, so beautiful, my sister. Can hardly believe that I didn't remember her until the wind killed her. Today I wake up, fix my coffee, and report the wind to the police with this poem, filling out the proper forms because the wind killed my beautiful sister. How perfect she was. How much promise she held. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure to read and to hear from y'all.
Thank you very much, Zen.
Thank you.
Very, very good stuff. Yeah. Like the new one, too.
Thanks.
Very good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, please come back and share more when you got some time. It's always great to hear from you, Zen.
It's always a pleasure to do this, Caleb. To hear what everybody's up to, it's a community.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great community. I
It
love
is.
Thanks for being part of it, Zen.
I'm glad to. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time. Everyone make some noise one more time for Zen Sutherland. And you got it dialed into Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Keep it locked here. We got more performers coming at you. Want to give a big shout out again to our featured poet, R. Flowers Rivera. And let y'all know you can find the books at promethea.com. And yes, do that. Very good. We got some more performers coming up here. Also want to give a shout out to our friends down at the Kava bar. They're up until 10 on Wednesdays now, so you got a little bit more time left to get those drinks in. Of course, if you're performing tonight, you get a free double shot. That's waiting on you at the bar. You can pick that up whenever. Just be sure and wear a mask. And, yeah. Y'all tip the barkeeps. It's good stuff. Let's see. I think we got Kevin Evans in the house next, the virtual house here. And we're going to keep rocking and rolling for you here tonight. So keep it locked here. Poetry with Mike Asheville. My name's Caleb Beissert. Always a pleasure to be your host. We have some more comments there for Zen. Want to make sure we blast the comments because we love hearing from our viewers. Y'all keep the comments coming. Let us know how you are. What you up to? Are you feeling it? Are you digging it? I'm digging it. All right. Kevin Evans. Swamps. Where you at, Swamps? We got Swamps. He's there. He's there. Let's bring him in. Y'all make a whole shit ton of noise. Jump up and down. Give it up for Kevin Evans. What's up, Kevin?
Chilling.
You doing all right,
I had
man?
to run for my headphones. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Appreciate the headphones. That always helps with the sound a little bit. Yeah, no, you're good, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute, man. You just still same stuff.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing better than I've been doing. Like I think I'm getting the little meltdown as the spring is approaching.
I know.
The internal as well.
Yeah, I hear that.
So trying to experience that, you know.
Yeah, it's been beautiful here in Asheville this week. Just like perfect 70-degree days. It's been really nice. I've been getting out in the yard and like, getting the garden going and like all that stuff.
Nice.
Getting out, just walking around in it. It feels good. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm thawing out. You've been writing much during all
I have
this?
one new poem,
Of course you
and
do.
I'm probably
Kevin's
gonna.
prolific as hell. I'll say that.
Well, not anymore, but anyway, that's a whole other story. That's personal stuff, like
That's
pressure on myself, I guess.
same here, dude. Same here. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
but that's cool. So you got one new one. That's good.
And I'll probably
Mhm.
revisit the poem, the new one from last week as well, and
Yeah,
about,
please do.
you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe a little harp too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna open up with the harp this time, just
All
because I
right,
want to just like see what, we'll see.
sounds good, man. Well, Kevin, I'll turn it over to you, and everybody up there, jump up and down and scream and shout and all that stuff. Make a bunch of noise for Kevin Evans.
Hey. Good evening. Once again, this is my new key of C that I purchased a couple of weeks ago, the other week or whatever. And I'm just gonna open up with that and see where the feeling takes me. So I'm gonna do these things uh, just in order of the date. I only have three pieces to read. The first one is from July 25th, 2019. I believe it's still untitled. I woke up as you had found my cyber bed. The tiger is a liar, tired and drained, scattered, fuzzed into zebra blender. Moth mates with butterfly as dusk pinches the bonfire over the meadows of wildflowers dyed and dipped, snipped with disaster, tragedy that dirt happily grows. Worms lock hearts with the wild game feces and the rose, not to mention those fallen too close to even pose. Pantyhose and jockstrap draped around the rat's hole. What we first thought was a gerbil is actually a furry little hog of the underworld, rooted in its seedy underground cities, networking with pretty wet dreams dripping upon slipping icicled gems. The Gemini fly a kite through firefly, and the lion eats the eggs as it sleeps tonight. All right, in sequential order, we would fast forward to March 3rd, 2021. And this is untitled as well. I read this last week, I believe. We said hello right before that famous prehistoric caveman tunnel, out in a place where only Yeti, Sasquatch toad, Wild and bushy speak with stars. Through big foot echo, thumb, toe, thump, drum on stone, older than earth. You lurch with your leash, crystallizing clouds with breach, which breach the sweetest parts of all earthly burnt beasts, buried in buzzing beat, which attempts to hum the sound of secret code of universe. But still, not necessarily the answer that perfectly resolves this chapter. We say hello as we walk through that famous prehistoric caveman tunnel. On the cusp, I've become so familiar with the feeling of not knowing which way is in and which way is out, entrance or exit. We say hello because here we no longer have to beg for greetings, for touch, for dream. So we are told. But if so, why so many invisible creatures rattling in your moonbeams in your corner? A praying choir up in smoke, smoldering upon each other's shoulders. We say hello, and then only see you later. And I think I'll close with this one, a new one. I wrote in the wee hours, I think it was Monday night into Tuesday morning. And yeah, March 7th, 2021, but it was probably really March 8th or another. I probably got the date wrong, but it doesn't matter. And it's untitled as of yet. If you saw me when I was naked, thought I was sacred, or so I pretended, but I was only afraid. And I could only refrain. But damn it, I'm human, and I couldn't fucking refrain. Damn it, I'm human, and I was over refraining. Watching the watercolors on the mural drying on the cave wall painting. Mind you, multitudes of thousands of years before I'm here. If you saw me when I was born, let's just be clear. Water source broken, and I was naked. And I'm still trying to get naked, because I'm still a child, damn it. And even baby Jesus wouldn't take that from us. And that's all I feel up to doing this evening. I thank y'all.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff, man. Yeah. Especially, yeah, that last one was incredible. Yeah. Got kind of lost in there. That's good.
It just, yeah, that was one of those that, like, late night, and I was feeling whatever I was feeling as far as any kind of substance, But yeah, and the natural buzz of life and whatever energy occurs once we're transitioning from the winter to the spring, and I felt this creative force, and I don't know. I was just at the kitchen table, and it just happened, and the whole naked thing was really, it was about being just a child and just being you, as just as we are when we finally release all that other BS.
Oh right,
so,
yeah. Oh,
so that's what I was trying to capture with that one, kind of,
Oh, I know. I used to, as a kid, man. I used to go out and run around the neighborhood naked. Just,
Yeah.
I'd have to be like, put some clothes on.
Yeah.
Sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. And now they take us to a cage now for things like that in public.
Oh well, yeah. It's a little different nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool stuff, man. Thanks for sharing. It's good to see you, Kevin.
Likewise.
And yeah. We'll do more of this. Hope you can make it next week.
I hope so as well.
Awesome. Well, cheers, Kevin. Have a good night, man.
Cheers. You too, man.
Y'all give it up one more time for Kevin Evans.
Peace. Love y'all.
Peace and love. Yeah. And you're tuned into Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina, USA. Yes, indeed. Thanks for riding with us here. We got some more great performers coming at you, so keep it locked. Very good, very good. Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay, cool. We got some more performers coming up. We do have a little bit of space later on. If anyone else wants to sign up, just follow the StreamYard link in the comments on any of the feeds and get on in there. Anyway, shout out to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava, and all the folks down at the Kava bar. It's almost last call to get them drinks in. Are we gonna check in? Oh yeah, I think we have Sovereign Kava in the house here. Let's see if we can beam down into the bar. What's up, bar? Y'all make some noise. Beam us in. Sovereign Kava, what's up? Hey, it's Madrano.
Not much. Wrapping up the shit.
Yeah. What's up, Barkley?
There's Barkley.
Hey. What's up, Keegan?
Oh, he's a staple.
It's our Kava bar people.
Staple. I'm just doing mean jokes. There's Tom.
Sheevsky, what's up? That's Tom Sheevsky. There, in the screen there. That's Tom. I think. Can you hear us this week, Tom? No, he can't.
So
he can't hear us.
We're
Tom.
I can hear you. We're gonna be doing last call soon. But I wanted to check in and make sure that everything's okay. How's the show going?
The show's going great. Raquel Flowers Rivera was on here and killed it earlier. And we've had Kevin and good. Yeah, y'all are tuning in down there. That's good. Yes, and so Sovereign Kava is our sponsor, so we encourage you all to go get a drink before last call there. You got just a few minutes left. Go see Madrano and Barkley over there at the bar. We love our Kava bar people. Y'all give it up for the Kava bar folks. Yeah. Much love. Look at all that Kava. Get in there.
Thank you for doing what
Get in there and
do.
get the... Oh, hold on. Are we going to do a shot? Are we going to do a virtual shot?
Oh, let's do a shot. We're gonna do a shot.
Let's do a shot. Hold on. Let me get my
We're gonna do a
Kava.
shot. Hey, we got the projector outside going. We're going to get a shot ready, but we got the projector going right now. So you are being projected into the forest on this fine evening here in Asheville, North Carolina.
I got one of the Madrano Kavas here. I got a what do they call this? The Madrano size Kava. Special size. Alright, let's do it.
Keegan. All right, we're gonna do.
Wait. Hold on.
Ready?
Ray Ray's coming. Hold on, Ray Ray's coming.
Oh wait, Ray Ray's coming.
Hold on, Pear's coming.
Hold on, Ray Ray's coming.
Hold on.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Peter wants one. All right, fuck him. All right, cheers, y'all. Bula, mabus.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Woo!
All right.
All right, thanks so much,
Have a good
y'all.
rest of your show.
Thanks.
Good
Have a good
night,
rest of your
all
shift.
Open micers. Thank you.
Much love, Sovereign Kava. Y'all get some drinks in. Cheers. One more time, give it up. Thanks, y'all. Peace. Yes, indeed. You got it locked here to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live. We're on live on Facebook and YouTube, coming at you. And yes, as you just heard, it is last call at the Kava Bar. So get those drinks in. If you're performing tonight, you get a free double shot. So take advantage of that. And yes, there are still a couple spaces left on the list. If anyone wants to get on, just follow that StreamYard link and enter the broadcast studio so that we know you're ready to go. We do have a few folks ahead of you, though. We're going to get to first here. And again, I want to plug our feature poet and check out her website. There. And buy the book. Buy 2 books. Yes. Troubling Accents and Heathen, of course. Alright, we're moving right along here. Up next on the mic tonight, we got Rachel in the house with us. It's great to have Rachel back again this week. So everybody, please give a big warm welcome for Rachel McMurray in the house. Give it up. What's up, Rachel? Oh, hold on. I think you're muted. You might have to unmute.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Well, hello. It's so lovely to
hi.
be here.
It's lovely to have you here. How are you doing tonight?
Wow, what a great show so far. Can I just say that Raquel Flowers Rivera, and we've been having some great feature poets, Thomas Raincrow last week, and it was really fun to check in with the Sovereign Kava Bar people. That was a good time.
It's always a good time down there. For sure. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could make it back tonight. Do you have some more poems to share with us?
Right, so tonight, instead of poetry, I'm going to be reading a story.
Oh, cool. I love stories.
Yeah.
Great. Well, all right, Rachel, we'll turn it over to you for this story. But everyone give it up one more time for Rachel McMurray. Make some noise.
All right. So this is called Mount Shasta 2013, and it's a true story. The story is coming out of me, in fits, in waves, in pages that fill the room with the palest of pale blue laptop glow and the tiny clicks of midnight keyboard muse. I remember laying awake on high school nights and typing certain words in my head, the well-worn patterns they formed, the same feeling as playing my father's piano or walking up the old marble staircase in the Flatiron Building. The story begins with my life falling apart. Whether I'm a victim or a dysfunctional mess remains to be seen. It's possible that my woes are just the state of modern adulthood as we know it, a product of our society and primeval urges coming together in a young, privileged woman whose very nature is inescapably anxious and lazy in equal parts. It's just as possible that I'll continue to destroy my life at regular intervals, only to clutch at the shreds of what's important as they dissolve like wet sand, reflections in the darkness, dreams to the unknowable when we wake from them too fast. It's been 7 years since everything came to a grinding halt, ripping away my actualness and replacing it with shame, a listless, pushing weight, the thick chunks of daytime separated from the night by a delicate veil of lucidity. My identity gone and replaced by a person I don't know. I remember that first day in the hospital. I remember knowing I was trapped, that in order to get out, I had to act as sane as possible, which was the only hard thing to do. The sterile air, the shadow of the basketball net on the pavement outside, the small white pills in the small white wax paper cup, the feeling in my fingers as I crushed its tender folds. The eyes of the haunted girl who stole my notebook, claiming loudly that in her dreams the night before I'd told her to read my writing. Her wary stare as they pulled her away. Hazier pieces surface at times. The first night I was there, hardly a human at all and still lost in the woods somehow, I took a huge breath and screamed at the television. I was sitting in the living room of the Behavioral Health Center, a wide beige room with bright fluorescent lights, dominated by a semicircle of firm beige couches, watched over at all times by a team of nameless blue scrubs. There were about 20 of us, different ages and ethnicities and levels of cognitive ability. Most of us were drugged to the brim, watching some 90s action thriller and eating popcorn covered in hot sauce out of coffee filters. About halfway through the movie, my terror hit me hard. Sudden and final, like a bird against a window pane. I locked eyes with one of the staff as I keened, animal noises tearing from my mouth. The aide was completely impassive, trained to blend into his blue scrubs. Everyone around us, the room full of patients and the other blue scrubs, did the same, watching quietly as the movie played, and I shook and sobbed. The powerful antipsychotic drugs combined with the blur of scripted suspense made me feel like there were violins in crescendo beneath my skin. A few minutes later, I was sitting with the head psychiatrist, a beautiful Asian woman, sharp and guarded, her hands in a pyramid shape. I knew she was the one I had to convince that I was all right, that I deserved the outside world as much as I hungered for it. I got lost in the woods, I remember declaring into the silence of her windowless office 3 days after arriving. I've said that's what happened ever since. It is, and it isn't. Yes, I got lost. I walked into the woods in the middle of the night to get water for my campsite, and less than an hour later, I was officially, truly, madly lost. No path, no flashlight, no jacket, no water, no wits about me as I heard with exponential gut clench the sounds of something big, something bear-like in the black, moonless evergreens around me. I moved, it moved. I stopped, it stopped. And inspired by the ancient fear of the predator after sundown, I began to sing and sing any stupid thing that came to mind. Hey bear, ho bear, clapping along. And suddenly, in the lull between my tuneless phrases, I heard someone clapping back. Motionless, I was convinced for a few moments that I had simply gone insane from fear, but then I heard laughter, and it was close, so close, and I was running, and the trees were slipping past me like so much water over river rocks, and somehow I tapped into the knowledge of my ancestors, bounding through the woods toward salvation, human sounds. The hot springs? The same hot springs I'd left behind hours ago? And the silhouettes of 3 women, laughing and clapping and whooping at each other, boiling in their hot springs cauldron like 3 witches, cackling at me as I tore from the woods, heaving with fear and crying with relief at the fact of their voices. That's what I'll always think of when I see that chill pine darkness in my mind. Macbeth, like a curse, like a blessing, their Los Angeles bodies writhing naked in what was once a Native American birthing pool and was now a tourist attraction for festies and hippies and other friends of Jimmy, the ageless white landowner that grew cannabis and farmed fish on a plot of land that the government had promised to the local tribes and a few decades later sold off in tracts to the interested rich. If that's what evil is, I won't be surprised. Their sweet voices, unnervingly steady and pacifying, as I explained to the top of my lungs that I'd been lost. I was lost out there, and there was something there, something with me, maybe a bear, and I heard you, oh my God, thank God. And as they nodded and made cooing noises at me, I began to wonder if they were hearing what I was saying. And then the one in the middle began to speak, a hot blonde with smoky eye makeup and obviously fake breasts. and she intoned with yoga teacher confidence that my harsh vibes were seriously polluting this sacred space, and she had a healing mantra to cleanse my chakras, so I should come to her and she would bestow a blessing upon me. Her glowing tones should have hypnotized me. The eerie grins on the faces of the other two waifs should have given me pause. But I was malleable, and I was overwhelmed, so I walked the few steps to the edge of the pool, and I let her put her warm, wet hands on my cheeks. She mewed a few words in Sanskrit and looked into my eyes and told me I would now be cleansed of my sins. And then she kissed me, deeply and fully on the lips, trying to open my mouth with her tongue. I jerked back, wiping my face in shock, and asked her what the hell she thought she was doing. And that's when I noticed that her friends had their hands on each other's breasts, making out the insatiable way porn stars do. And for the next immeasurable amount of time, I sat on the damp ground and tried desperately to think about anything else, while they moaned and yesed, their casual hedonism echoing throughout Jimmy's woods until they finally led me back to my car. After we reached the parking lot, it took 5 minutes, which made me want to cry. They blew me kisses and called out in lilting schoolyard phrases as they drove off in their Prius, blasting impossibly fast-paced electronic dance music. The soundlessness that followed was so, so precious. When I discovered I had no water left in my car either, I stomped furiously back into the woods, muttering incoherently and fundamentally shaken, to my campsite. It was the same path I'd taken for days now. The same steps with the same feet and the same shoes, but somehow that night was full of the kind of magic I fear the most, the kind that happens of its own accord. The path abruptly ended, and when I turned to retrace my steps, it was gone. The path had disappeared. There were only the torsos of trees in a shapeless wall around me, like a labyrinth that grew while my back was turned. That's when I actually got lost and finally gave up. Oh, lost. Tears streaming down my cheeks. Hours of scrambling up and down a mountainside, and then hours of lying down, shivering in my sundress and singing hoarsely to keep away the creature that I swear I could hear in the darkness. Or was it only the trauma of my ancestors singing ancient prayers through my cognitive dissonance? Or was it all a dream? And after thousands of years, the sun rises on my body, surrounded by cairn of stone upon stone upon stone, as I watch peacefully from nowhere for the hungry ones to eat my sins, the western winds to grieve my ghost, the door now found to seek its host, and now unlost, come back again. Thank you for listening.
Wow, that's a powerful piece there, Rachel. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's been so beautiful to have this space. So thank you so much for being the host of this really amazing place on the internet.
Oh, of course. It's my pleasure, and it's everyone, all the performers and everyone who takes part that makes it. But thank you. I'm happy to provide this space for all this creativity every week. So thank you so much for being part of it, Rachel, and we hope to see you next time.
I will see you next week. Thank you.
All right. Y'all give it up one more time for Rachel McMurray. Make some noise.
It's fun. They have like virtual.
Excellent. All right, good. Yes, you've got it dialed into Poetry Open Mic Asheville. I'm Caleb Beissert, your host. It's always a pleasure to be here, a pleasure to do this thing for you. Each and every Wednesday night, we're rocking and rolling here, and we got some more performers coming at you next. So, yeah, keep it locked here. Thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava. Big shout out. We love y'all down at the bar. Much love. Yes. And of course, if you're performing tonight, you got a free double shot waiting on you over there. So take advantage of that. And yeah, let's do this. We got Christopher T. George in the house next, joining us from Delaware. Oh, I want to make sure we blast the comments though, because we're always happy to get comments. It's nice to hear from y'all. So leave us a comment. Let us know how you're doing. What's up? What's going on? Digging the show. But yeah, thanks. Some comments here from Rachel. Very good. Keep them coming, y'all. Yeah. Right. Yes. Powerful stuff. Incredible. All right. Awesome. Very good. Thanks for the comments, y'all. Yes, keep them coming. And yes, let's see if we can get Christopher connected here. He's a poet from Liverpool who's now based out of Delaware, and he's joining us tonight. Y'all make a whole bunch of noise for Christopher T. George. Hey, Christopher.
Hi there, Caleb.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
All right. Well, my team won today, so I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. What team is that?
Liverpool beat Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig in Budapest.
Wow.
So
well, that's good. I know they weren't doing so well last time I talked to you.
No, we were on a losing streak in the Premier League, but at least we won in the European Champions League. So we're in the quarterfinals.
Very good. A good place to be. Yeah.
And we won the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, and an ex-player who was commenting was saying that the signs look good this time. So we'll see.
The signs look good. You hear it, folks. You heard it. All right, cool. Well, what do you have for us tonight, Christopher?
Well, I referenced last time Carol Ann Duffy, and I have a book of hers, Rapture. I'm going to read a poem from this, and
cool.
I think you'll like it, and some of my own stuff.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody out, we'll turn it over to you. Everybody out there, give it up one more time for Christopher.
This is called Wintering by Carol Ann Duffy. All day, slow funerals have ploughed the rain. We've done again that trick we have of turning love to pain. Grey fades to black. The stars begin their lies, nothing to lose. I wear a shroud of cold beneath my clothes. Night clenches in its fist the moon, a stone. I wish it thrown. I clutch the small, stiff body of my phone. Dawn mocks me with the gibberish of birds. I hear your words. They play inside my head like broken chords. The garden tenses, lies face down, bereaved. Has wept its leaves. The Latin names of plants blur like belief. I walk on ice, it grimaces, then breaks. All my mistakes are frozen in the tight lock of my face. Fir trees hold out their arms, besiege, entreat, cannot forget. The clouds sag with the burden of their weight. The wind screams at the house, bitter, betrayed. The sky is flayed. The moon a fingernail, bitten and frayed. Another night, the smuggling in of snow. You come and go, your footprints like a love letter below. Then something shifts, elsewhere and out of sight, a hidden freight that morning brings in on a tide of light. The soil grows hesitant, it blurts in green. So what has been translates to what will be, certain, unseen. As pain turns back again to love, like this, your flower kiss, and winter thaws and melts, cannot resist. This next poem kind of fits with that. It's a kind of back and forth of love. This is called Crumbs. I find a sesame seed on my desk, remaindered from a long ago eaten sandwich. Reclaim it with a wettened finger, bite into it, sweet as the memory of a lost love. Crumbs of a relationship, reminders like the notes you hid throughout my desk, corners of ruled pages, all left here, how many years ago? Hidden while our relationship grew, then ruptured. Yes, dear, like crumbs in the bed of a invalid, my father's back as he lay dying, like leather, purple blotched. He's so thin, a single crumb, the slightest wrinkle in a sheet, cutting into him like a knife. Yet now I think of only the good things, of good memories, as I gaze at you, sleeping across the hotel room pillow. The pallid New York winter light on your cheek, as men across the hall and throughout the hotel leave for their convention, emblazoned with name tags, carrying gaily wrapped packages into the brisk winter air. I lick my finger and savor a lone kernel of rice left on the pillow from our shared Chinese meal of last night, and you sleep on long into the morning. Got to finish with maybe a little bit of a lighter poem. This is called So Duct Tape My Mouth. I was readying the trash to take to the dumpster. Last night's pizza box cut a slit in the super strong steel sack. I went to duct tape the gash with a silver X, but in snipping the tape, I made another slit. I dreamed a dream last night. I was giving a poetry reading before a large white screen with tiny letters at the base. The Surgeon General has determined that poetry is hazardous to your brain. It might make you think. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you, Christopher.
Sure.
Yeah, very good stuff. All of that. I loved the Duffy poem and the originals as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice ending on the lighter one there. Very good. Cool. Well, I hope to see you next week, Christopher. Thanks so much for doing this. It's always good doing poetry with you.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right.
See you then.
Absolutely. Y'all give it up one more time for Christopher T. George. Yes, indeed. You're tuned into the one and only Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Brought to you by Sovereign Kava. Thank you, Sovereign. Very good. Sovereign Kava will be open noon to 9 tomorrow night, and if you perform tonight, you got a free double waiting on you. Y'all keep it locked here. We got some more really amazing performers coming at you. I'm really excited about. Again, shout out to our featured poet tonight, R. Flowers Rivera. Buy the book at promethea.com, and look out for her new book coming out sometime before too long. Want to make sure we hit our comments here, cause yeah, we got some comments here for Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. Yes, indeed. We love the comments. We love to hear from you, so keep them coming. Thanks so much, y'all. Really appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Up next, we have Jason in the house. We got a couple of Hubers tonight for you. Don't worry. All right. Of course, we're gonna have to make a whole bunch of noise to get them connected. Jason is up, and like I said, make a whole bunch of noise. There we go. There we go. All right.
Hello.
What's up, Jason?
Not much. How you doing?
Chilling. Straight chilling. How are you doing tonight?
Super classy jacket you got on. I like
Why,
it.
thank you. Yeah. I got this for a court appearance.
Did it work?
Yes.
Yes.
It's amazing what a good looking suit can do. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Anyway, you know, now it's gonna be my party suit, so it's on. What you been up to?
Not much. Teaching, writing. Almost fought a guy in the grocery store the other day, so that was fun.
Oh, again?
Oh, yeah. What can I say? Well, I asked him
Jason.
to wear his mask because that's the sort of person I am, and I could see the glee in his eyes. He was very excited, like he was going to get his chance to fight a libtard. And I was wearing a shirt that had a heart on it that said cutie pie, right? So I think he was very jazzed about fighting me, but I made it obvious that I did not want to fight him, and he went on his merry way. But
Oh, I know. I've had to ask some assless folks in the grocery store for some space before, you know. Been cussed at and stuff. But, you know,
oh joy!
It's like a reasonable thing, but anyway, yes, joy.
I'll write stories about it, right? That's how I'll
right. That's the thing to do. That is the thing to do for sure. Turn it into art. That's cool. So did you bring some stories tonight, or what you got? Because you do all kinds of stuff: stories, poetry, music.
Yeah, I've got some more prose from the larger piece that I'm working on.
Oh, cool.
So
very cool. We get to hear more of it. Very good. Cool. Well, Jason, I'll turn it over to you. I look forward to it. And everybody out there, give it up one more time for Jason Huber. Yeah.
Hello. This is the same character from what I read last time. Again, more from a larger piece that I'm working on. I'm trying to refine my writing and cut out the extra fluff. So this started out around 3,000 words, and now it's under 2,000. So that's a success, I hope. Anyway, here we go. Jay was going to be a superhero when he grew up. He got a head start by fighting off the demons in his backyard with the help of 2 magic items that were gifted to him from a very powerful old wizard. The first was his cape, which was left over from a Halloween costume. It made him fearless and fast, 2 traits shared by all good superheroes. The second, his sword. It appeared to be an ordinary wooden sword, the kind you might get at a Renaissance festival, but it was none other than the Great Excalibur in disguise. With these items, he would ward off any evil that exists in the world, or at least on his side of the street down to the corner. He would have to get a bit older to fight evil beyond that. It was Mom's rules. He was no longer allowed to wear his cape to bed due to the time he nearly strangled himself, according to his mother. His sword, however, went with him everywhere. He slept with it across his chest like some long-dead knight that would once again rise to fight off the forces of evil, but only after a good night's sleep. One such night, he was dreaming of a wild battle. He and Thor were fighting off aliens from a distant frost planet. Thor's hammer was lost. The battle was perilous. Jay ran an enemy through with his trusty sword, and it stuck. He couldn't tug it loose. The tugging was hard enough to pull him from his grand adventure. As the sleep slipped from his eyes, he saw a girl, about his age, trying to steal his prized possession. "How did you get in here?" he asked. The girl jumped. The moonlight through his bedroom window showed that she was about his age, a little bit taller. She was wearing a white dress with blue checkered stripes that came to her knees. The shoulders of the dress puffed out dramatically and made her look larger than she was. Her brown hair was pulled into 2 braids and pinned down by a butterfly beret. "Did I wake you?" she said with a comical grin composed of missing teeth. "Why are you in my room?" he replied. "Oh, goody. It's the questions game," she said, putting her hands behind her back and rocking onto her toes. "I'm really good at this game." She stopped, put her hand on her chin. "Then again, I've already lost it, haven't I?" "You shouldn't be here," Jay said. "I'll get in trouble." "Jay, is that you?" His mom's voice echoed down the stairs from his parents' bedroom. "Get back to sleep," she said. "I told you." "I just wanted to play," she said, stamping her feet on the ground. "Stop it," Jay said. The sound of his mom's footsteps echoed down the stairs. "You have to hide," he said. But she stayed still. "You have to," he repeated. She spun around and the skirt of her dress spread out and then wrapped around her legs. "I said go to sleep." His mom stepped into the doorway, and Jay looked at her with scared and guilty eyes. "Are you okay?" she asked, flipping the overhead light on. He looked around frantically. The room was empty. "I'm fine," he said. "All right, I'll tuck you back in." He lay down and she pulled the blanket up to his neck and tucked it in. "Good night, my baby burrito," she said with a kiss on the forehead. "Mom." She walked back to the doorway. "Hall lights on or off?" she asked. "Off is fine." She turned off the lights and went back up the stairs. "You're a baby burrito," the girl said. She was standing in the same spot. "Baby burrito," she repeated. "Where did you go?" he asked as he untucked the blanket from around himself. "You told me to hide," she said. She walked over and sat on the end of his bed. "Do you want to play now?" "I have to go to sleep," he replied. "All right, maybe tomorrow." She got up and walked to the door. When she got there, she turned around and said, "I'm Ruth, by the way. What's your name?" "It's James, but people call me Jay," he answered. "See you, Jay," she said as she walked out into the hall. After a moment, he got out of bed and peeked. The hallway was empty. Many years later, much later in the novel, Ruth? Jay was baffled at the sight of his childhood friend holding a wooden sword. "You're not real, are you?" He walked over and grabbed a beer from his fridge. She followed him with her eyes. "This is it," he said. "I'm cracking up." He walked to his table and sat down. "I guess it makes sense," he continued. "My dad's weird. Mom lost it ages ago. What have I been doing?" His hands shook as he took a drink from his beer. "You've changed," Ruth said, now sitting across from him. "Have I now?" Jay responded. She stared at him, her eyes suspicious. "What did you do with my friend?" "I watched him grow up," Jay answered while taking another drink. He would worry about his apparent slip into insanity in the morning. For now, he just wanted to drink and have a strange conversation with some aspect of his psyche. What would Freud say? "Did you become a superhero like you said you would?" "Hardly." "That's a shame. You would have made a good one." She set the wooden sword on the table between them. It's not too late," she said. "It's well past too late." Jay finished his beer and walked to the fridge for another one. "Why are you here?" he asked as he sat back down. She looked offended at the question. She reached across the table and grabbed his forearm. He felt the electric pressure of her hand. It wasn't enough to call real, but it was enough to stop him drinking. Do I matter anymore? Sorry, Jay said, looking her in the eyes. They had a sickly yellow tint. I need your help, she said. You wouldn't be the first ghost to ask me for something, and it hasn't turned out well so far. Jay obstinately took another drink. You have to come back. He's still there. Your friend couldn't scare him away. She nudged the sword closer to him. My friend? The big lady, Ruth said. She tried, but it didn't work. She drew back in her seat and tears welled up in her eyes. I've been waiting forever. She spoke through a face compressed with misery and sad sobs. Why did you leave? Real or not, Jay couldn't stand the crying. He reached across the table and she shied away. I'm sorry, he said. I guess I didn't have a choice. But she said you would come back for me. Jay felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. I can't stay, she said with a look of fear. Here's your weapon. She stood up from the table. Hope you still know how to use it. And then she dissipated into a fine dust. He sat for a moment, trying to figure out what he had seen. He reached for the sword. It was just like he remembered. It was a weapon from many an epic journey. He was wholly expecting his hand to pass through it, or for it to fade into dust as well, but it didn't. And he picked it up and swung it a few times and then dropped it on the table. Well, shit, he said. He drank another beer and went back to bed. While he slept, he felt a pressure in his chest, but he was drunk and stubborn enough to power through it. He dreamt that he was in a room that wasn't his own. But he recognized the stucco ceiling above him. Next to him, a man cleared his throat and shuffled around. He turned to look and recognized the Pegasus tattoo on his dad's back. He pulled his hands up to his face and saw the chipped red nail polish of his mom's hands. He was in his parents' old bedroom. Through the dim light, he saw a figure walking up the stairs. It was a gaunt man covered in red and black smoke. His lips were curled back as though he were baring his teeth. His hair was thick lines that jutted from his head at odd angles. Jay stayed still, hoping that the man would keep moving. Instead, he walked to the end of the bed. He tried to nudge his dad, but to no avail. The fear in his body was paralyzing. The man stepped onto the bed and stood over Jay, staring down at him. His eyes were hollow holes, sucking in the air and light. The thick smoke curled inward at the sockets. He walked across Jay's legs and stomach until he was standing on his chest. The painful weight sunk into his body as the old man crouched down. He felt an uneasy clawing for his heart and closed his eyes to block out the pain. When he opened them, he was standing in the kitchen of the Bell house. The pull-out cutting board was covered in blood, and the basement door was open. There was a child screaming and crying. He walked in that direction and felt an immense pain in his foot. Looking down, he saw a sharp kitchen knife. He was bleeding, but not enough to account for what was there. He walked to the stairs. Jay? He called in his mother's voice. When he reached the bottom, he saw himself many years ago, the child sitting on a wooden chair, holding a towel to his arm. I'm sorry, okay, he said through a grimace. Jay ran to help, and when he pulled the towel off, there was a cut deep enough to see the fat of his arm. As they drove to the emergency room, he tried desperately to remember what happened. The child version of himself refused to give any answers. It's okay, Mom, I'm okay, he said through tears. Once again, Jay closed his eyes as hard as he could and snapped them open. He breathed a sigh of relief when he saw his own ceiling. He felt more hungover than he had earned from the night before. When he walked into the living room, the wooden sword was still sitting there. His phone was there too, with 15 missed calls from his sister and an outgoing call to her from the night before. There was a single text, "Call me when you wake up." He reluctantly hit the call button. What the fuck was that? She asked immediately. Jay was silent for a moment. I don't know, he said. He scoured his brain. I guess I called you last night? Yeah, you called me all right, she answered, tapping a pen. I was drunk, Jay said. I'm sorry. Did I say something embarrassing? He didn't drink enough to be launching a blackout investigation, but the call log couldn't lie. If you were anybody else, I would have blocked your number, Aubrey said. The tapping stopped. I'm worried about you, little brother. It's okay. I'm okay, he said. Bullshit, Aubrey responded. Dad says you left without saying goodbye. She let out a heavy sigh and the tapping started again. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but he's right. Something's going on with you. I told you, I'm okay, Jay said. I'm sorry about the phone call. I don't care about that. I care about you. Jay looked down at the wooden sword on the table. It's okay, he said. I know what I need to do. What does that mean? Aubrey asked. Silence. What does that mean? She repeated. He hung up the phone, grabbed the sword and his car keys, and walked out the door while his phone racked up more missed calls. And that's it for that. Yay.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. That was great stuff, man. I can't wait to read the whole book.
When it is a whole book, indeed.
Right.
Myself, I can't wait to read the whole book.
Yes. so you've been writing it in pieces. Are these coming chronologically, or do you even know yet, or like what's the process like with kind of writing this with a larger thing in mind?
My process is I want to have something to share every week, so I'm scouring through this large bit of text to try and find something that makes sense on its own.
That's whatever drives you, right? I mean, I think it's great. I love it. I mean, like, it's funny, but it's true. I mean, I love it when having an open mic to go to or something like that can inspire you to get the writing done, like to have something new for next week, that's a
something
great thing.
we need, and it's great that you've created a space to do that.
Well, thanks. Yeah,
I've got a really cool program on my computer called Scrivener, and it allows me to do storyboards, and then I can click into each storyboard and get the whole scene. Right. So I can have a storyboard up on one monitor and then the scene I'm working on in another monitor. So I've got a stack of scenes that are loosely connected right now. And I'm trying to tie them together and refine them and so on and so forth. So,
well, that's a cool process, though. Like using a tool like that, using technology like that, because obviously storyboarding is part of your process. And I've always kind of envied that too. I wish I could do that with poems, like map it out first and then. But I don't know. Poems are a little different, but I don't know. Maybe I should try writing more stories. Seems fun, but
I mean it's different, but and I'd never really considered myself a poet as much as a fiction writer. But as I read more about writing, the advice is generally just write what you want to write songs, write poems, write stories, write everything.
Totally. I never got to study fiction writing. I did get to take a creative nonfiction class with Deidre Elliott, but
oh, nice.
But yes, some of the same kind of techniques in there, storytelling basically. But yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing your perspective. I love getting inside how it works with other writers.
Yeah.
So. Awesome. Well, I hope you can make it back next week, Jason. It's always a pleasure to have you on here and write something new.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. We'll see you, Jason. Cheers. Give it up one more time for Jason Hubert. And this is Poetry Open Mic ASHEVILLE. Whoops. Sorry. You keep it locked here. Trying to get that right. Alright, it's a little more like it. Shout out to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava, for keeping us going each and every week here. We're 8:30 Eastern time. Start each week, and you can sign up on the Poetry Open Mic AVL group on Facebook, or sign up at Kava. Anyway, we got Phil Hubert coming up next, and then we got Ease Dog in the house, and we got JJ, Matt. If you want to perform tonight, follow that StreamYard link into the broadcast studio so we know you're ready to go. We'll get you on here. Emilio, y'all check it out and keep it locked here. It's Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Y'all make some noise for Phil Huber. What's up,
hey,
Phil?
Buddy. How you
Hey, I'm good. It's so good to see you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How you
Good.
doing? I'm doing good. You doing all right?
You know,
I'm
I'm
in a
good,
good
I'm
place.
good.
I like the decisions I'm making in life. I'm good. I'm good.
That's good. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
That's what's up. You're beautiful. Forget about it. So Rachel McMurray, Beth and I were out picking up dinner and ran into her. Oh, by the way, I want to be mute words in Sanskrit. I think that's just an awesome. I want to be mute words in Sanskrit. That sounds incredible.
Oh yeah, I love that.
But we ran into her and she was like, saw my name. She's like, Philip Huber. I know a poet named Philip Huber, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I didn't realize who she was. And then I went back and I figured it out. I was like, "Are you talking from the open mic?" And she's like, "I'm Rachel." And it's like, "Oh yeah, that's me. I'm not a poet. I just write shit."
Oh.
You know. But
you're a poet and don't know it, as they say.
Yeah, I know. Poet and doesn't even know it. But I just want to say thank you. You're making everyone poets, and that is such a blessing and such a joy. And I keep that shit up. Because that's what you're basically doing with this is bringing out everybody's poet and giving them a space and a safe space, an encouraging space to come and say, yeah, this is what I got, you know, and we share that and we celebrate it, we applaud it. So good on you, buddy.
Well, thank you. I mean, well said. I mean, I couldn't do it without everyone, but I'm so honored to hold this safe, creative space for people. And I'm so glad you're taking part in it. You know, I mean, this is fun. I mean, it's cool. We get to do this when we can't get together in person, and you know, we may keep doing some version of this once the in-person stuff comes back. So we'll see. Keep tuning in, being part of it. I like doing the virtual fun. I mean, it's pretty cool to be able to you know, perform a set from your living room or wherever you are. You know,
makes it a little easy. You know,
yeah, you don't have to wear pants.
Right.
Know?
Well, yeah. How did
don't
you
stand
know?
up? You know,
busted.
Oh yes.
Sweet. Well, I've got a piece that and I'd like to do some flute.
Yes.
After that,
cool.
if that's cool.
Yeah.
The piece is my good friend Domini. We were at lunch and I told her I tend to other people's gardens and that's what I do. And she asked me very directly, well, what does your garden look like? So the piece is a response to that, and then a stream of consciousness on the flute.
Yes,
and,
I love it. All right,
go.
well, let's turn it over to you, Phil. Y'all give it up one more time. Phil Huber.
Hi, y'all. Yay. So, yeah, as I was saying, a friend of mine asked me, you know, I'm a minister. I tend to folk, and I was feeling like I've basically been taking care of other people's spaces and such. And she's like, well, what does your space look like? What does your garden look like? So this was my response. Phil's Garden, a virtual tour. With a full and easy breath, let me introduce you to what my garden looks like. There are many sections to this garden. Over there is a stand of music. It's where I play my flute and sing music that rings me like a bell and ripples me out past the edges of the universe. I love to close my eyes and get lost in there. I never know what direction I'll be facing and what new and enchanting blossom I'll discover when I open my eyes. It's a great joy when other folk join me there and give me the honor of decorating their songs with angelic whispers and spooning dollops of pretty on their expressions. It's directly connected to the garden where my life partner and I have raised our family for 37 years. We worked the same field for years until we discovered that the plants that serve us best cannot grow in each other's shade. We have our own plots these days with shared borders and plots that we work together with loving words and satisfied smiles. Here in the shed is my neatly and intuitively organized workshop. I have a wealth of tools and beautiful materials to choose from. Over the course of many years, I've vigilantly sought, found, and collected the finest resources one can imagine. This is where I dance with machinery and listen intently to raw stock to know its story and its form. Folk bring ideas here. Together we caringly weave the thoughts into things, deftly plucking them from their minds and gently placing them in their hands. Gardeners come from all around to my shop. We share and trade seeds, tools, skill sets, and ideas amidst excited chatter and silent focus. I have learned and shared so much in that shed. It's where I germinate the seeds of future gardeners as they find their way through the soil of their own gardens. Behind the shed is the wildwood section. I do not dictate what grows here. It has been feral and primal for as long as I can remember. It is full of mysterious plants that have no names. I wander through the shadows on occasion to find medicine that can only be gathered in the darkest of nights with a steady hand and a closed eye. I wash the roots with my tears and dry them with my deepest sighs. I wrap them in compassion and store them for special occasions. Strong stuff. This section is the community garden, where I do my ministering. That first row is open to the world. Folk are free to plant things in that space. It is interesting seeing what springs up. It's always a delightful surprise to see people grow. There are benches where we sit and have long, animated conversations and deep, comfortable silences as we watch our stories develop and take shape. Through this trellis is the temple, the heart of my garden, where I'm of deeper service to the community. This is a sacred space. Before I enter, I bow and leave my basket of desires at the threshold. This is where I've planted my sacred presence sessions, which encompass a wide variety of flora and fauna. There's a circle of morning glory vines with an opening in the center where I do card readings and reflect on all things with love and acceptance. There's a warm pool where I bathe folk in a pool of rose petals and anoint them with oil. Here is a bed of calla lilies where we do breath, energy, and body work as Spirit ordains. Oftentimes I will play my flute over folks as they sleep or make love with each other or themselves. Occasionally I will lay down with them holding space. I'm very mindful of what I take from this place. The harvest here is meant for others' nourishment and growth. I've been working on a new addition to the garden. Years in the making. It closely resembles a temple, but this space is meant for me and those with whom I share. Here I place my basket of desires on the altar in the center to be honored, recognized, celebrated, and explored. It is my most elegant work as of yet. I've populated it with tapestries of flowering vines, beds of fragrant, exotic blossoms, and trees laden with ripened fruit bursting with succulent juices. This is my playground, where I can relax and frolic knowing that the garden is well tended. Here is where I lay down my work clothes and dance with those that speak the same love language as me, honest, awkward, genuine, vulnerable, compassionate, sardonic, giggly, racy, and ephemeral beyond words. Here I share affection freely given and freely received in different measures based on mutual desire and consensually enthusiastic agreement. I harvest and savor the sight, sound, smell, taste, and feel of those who venture here. It is where I loose the fetters of service to include myself in exploring the deep magic of the union of God and Goddess, Shakti and Shiva, Yin and Yang, where I plop down in the middle of the puppy pile with ease and comfort, knowing that I'm safe and included, knowing that my boundaries and those of others are clearly communicated, respectfully kept, and when spirit moves, gently challenged and negotiated. This is where my most delicate and ornate flowers grow. This space requires mindful movement and a tender touch. Such treasures I have, such blessings. I celebrate sharing them openly and freely in the many different spaces of my garden. This is what my garden looks like. And in case you're wondering, this is what my garden sounds like.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Wow. Yay. Oh, that was beautiful. Your garden sounds amazing, Phil.
Oh, I love it. It's awesome
Yeah.
there.
And
Come visit.
Yeah, it sounds like it. No, but in all seriousness, that I love the garden piece. I mean, that was just one of the most beautiful things I've heard. I mean,
Oh, thank you, dear.
really, yeah.
It's
incredible.
a manifesto of sorts, and it's a manifestation of sorts. And I'm actually in the process of building the shed in the backyard that will be the workshop that I've described there. So in the past 2 years, it's actually manifesting itself as I wrote this.
Yeah.
And allowed it into being. It's actually been a prayer that's being answered. So I appreciate being able to share that prayer with everyone.
That's so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Way cool. Well, that's cool, and I'm sure you'll build a lot of wonderful things in the show.
Really awesome shit, dude.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah. That'll be great.
Yay.
Well, Phil, dude, thank you so much for coming by and sharing the poetry and the music. It's always incredible having you here.
Thank you, Caleb. I love you.
I love you too. We'll keep doing it, and we'll see you soon, Phil. I hope.
All right, baby.
All right. Cheers. Give it up one more time for Phil Huber. Yes. All right, it's Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Keep it locked here. We still got some more amazing performers coming at you. It's been quite a night so far. I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time too. Thanks to Sovereign Kava, of course. Thanks to our technical director, Morgan Beissert, for really holding things down, killing it. Let's see. I want to make sure we get the comments here. We got some comments for Phil, so we're gonna blast these comments real quick. But y'all keep the comments coming. We love hearing from our viewers. It was great hearing from our friends down at the Kava bar. Much love to y'all. And of course, they're open noon to 9 every day. Now open till 10 on Wednesdays. We're slowly getting back to it. But stop by, get you Kava. If you perform tonight, you got a free double waiting on you. If you've never had Kava before, you can get a 2-for-1 double. So check it out. Yes, indeed. Cool. We're rocking and rolling here. We got Ease Dog up next. I'm so stoked. You know I'm a big Ease Dog fan. And then we got let's see. We got Emilio up after that, and we got there's a couple of spaces left. If if anyone else wants to join in tonight, go ahead and do it now. So we make sure to get you on tonight. So, yeah, space coming up very soon. Follow that StreamYard link, enter the broadcast studio. If anyone else wants to do anything tonight on the virtual mic, we're keeping it going here. Keep it locked. East Dog is coming up next. Y'all gonna have to make some noise though. Jump up and down, shout, and give it up for East Doggy. Wait, do we have East Dog? Do we have East Dog? I thought we had East Dog. East Dog, where you at? We had him connected a second ago. Let's see if we can get East Dog back here. We'll get him on for you. As promised, we will bring you East Dog tonight. Don't worry, don't freak out. It's working. It's starting to work. It's starting to work. We're getting East Dog connected here. You good, Ease? You ready? Alright. We got East Dog connected. Y'all jump up and down. Make a whole bunch of noise for East Doggy Dog. What's up, Ease? Hell yeah, man. It's good to see you. How you doing tonight?
All right, sure, man. Just feeling good, feeling better.
Right? Spring is coming. You know, the vaccine is here, you know. People start getting that, and live shows are going to start coming back soon, so things are looking up.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up, and you've been doing a lot of stuff with the turntables now. I know. You gonna be sharing some of that tonight?
Oh yeah, of course. Sure. Look like I got a little smudge and stuff on the camera lens and stuff though.
Oh, that's all right. Well, we can hear you loud and clear. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. But yeah, man, you know, I still got that little setup and stuff though, of course.
Yeah, man. How have you been liking that?
Sure, I love it though and stuff though. Like I actually love it stuff though. It's like me producing stuff though, beats and stuff though, and even performing.
Right. So it's kind of like taking it to the next level, with your live performance. I take it you're gonna be performing on that when you come back.
Yeah. Basically, because I get to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool for live performance to switch things up a little bit, you know.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. Do some remixes.
Oh yeah, you can say that again.
Hell yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, man. I hope you'll do some of that and do a few songs for us tonight.
Oh yeah, of course.
Cool, man. Well, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you for the music. But everybody out there, make a whole bunch of noise for the one and only East Dog. Give it up.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ash's Finest, Ease Dog Your Dog, man. How's everyone doing tonight and stuff, though, on this Poetry Open Mic? How's everyone doing tonight? I know everybody's doing real good. Sure. I'm just happy and stuff, though, to actually get to do and stuff, though, in good health and stuff, though, sure. Because in the last few days and stuff, though, your boy kind of not been like it's Ease Dog Your Dog and stuff, though, like I would usually be and stuff, though, tonight. Sure, I done had like, I was nauseous, dizziness and stuff, though, on the right side. I must have had an ear infection or something, though, because it's been bugging me for days. But now, your boy is better and stuff, though, man, and it feels good. Just weather's about to get better and stuff, though, and the place is starting to open up and stuff, though, and your boy E's about to come back hard and stuff, though, on foot. About to get back on my grinds. Got some new songs coming out real soon. It's a whole lot going on and stuff, though, coming soon for your boy E's. So as you can see, I actually been doing this DJ thing stuff for a while though, and I'm about to go ahead. I'm start off with my little song stuff though. I'm actually gonna spin one of my jams and stuff though on here. If you like it, I'm gonna go ahead and spin. I'm actually gonna spin lay it down, not lay it down, but take a ride with me. Y'all probably familiar with that jam. Yeah. E Dog on the track. To all y'all ladies. What you doing tonight? I'm doing tonight. I'm doing nothing. Let's go get out and do something. With me is always bumping. Now let me show you real love. Take a ride with me. 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 Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. Here we are, girl, on our first date. We're gonna our girl on our first date. We're gonna our girl on our first date. We're gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna do away all over space. Call me Burger King, have it your way. All eyes on you, eyes on you, eyes on you. Eyes on you like a porno. So hot, like blazing inferno. I'ma see what's popping in the menu. On the thing that I want is you. What you doing tonight? I'm doing nothing. Let's go get out and do something. With me, it's always bumping. Now let me show you real loving. Take it, let me show you real loving. Take it, let me show you real, let me show you real, let me show you real loving. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. It's a sunny day. Let's walk to the park and sunny day. Let's walk to the park and sunny day. Sunny day, sunny day, sunny day, sunny day. Let's walk to the park and chat a bit, cause it'll be a start of a relationship. To love and to cherish in the future. Maybe a marriage. Close your eyes, girl. Now make a wish. For a real man like me to be with, who fine as fuck and real as hell. Is you the one? On the time will tell. What your G's the one? On the time will tell. What your G's the one? On the G's the one? On the G's the one? On the time will tell. What you doing tonight? I'm doing nothing. Let's go get out and do something. With me, it's always bumping. Now let me show you real loving. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. You always be on my damn mind. You say always be on my always be on my damn mind. You say head the treasure, hard to find. 1 in a million like a Leah. I'ma keep it 100. I need ya to hold me down, like hold me down, like hold me down, like gravity. And be honest, play with me. We could be like Offset and Cardi B. Equal partnership, 50-50. Let's have some fun. Let's shoot some pool and have some drinks. Everything is cool. It doesn't matter of what we do, as long as spending time to see. I'm just a sweetheart. Want a taste? Put a smile on your pretty face. Just call me all set. You in good hands. Are you down and ready for a real man? What you doing tonight? Doing tonight? Doing tonight? Doing tonight? I'm doing nothing. Let's go get out and do something. With me, it's always bumping. Now let me show you real loving. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with the ease. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. Oh yeah. What you think about that shit though and stuff though? You didn't know your boy Easy can have it like that though, like for real. Shit, I didn't even know that I had it like that though, for real, because like I haven't been really DJing that much though, like that. But personally, I think I actually been honing my skills though and stuff though to a T. But yeah, that's what happens and stuff though when you get stuck in the middle of the pandemic. But right now, I'm about to go ahead and give y'all and stuff though some original E-Star performance right now. But before I do, I just want to let y'all know that I'm actually in the process of making my newest EP, Asher's Finest 2, Heart of the Streets. And speaking of Heart of the Streets, I actually just got through with Heart of the Streets song. So that track will be out pretty soon. So y'all look out for the Heart of the Streets track. Yeah, it's a banger too. Yeah, for real. Once again, I kind of been under the weather a little bit and stuff though, but now, a whole lot of shit coming up through and stuff though. Matter of fact, I'm performing tomorrow over at Alley Cat because they just opened up over mic in person though, starting Tuesday night. So I'm about to go ahead and pop up on Thursday night too. If y'all want to see me, that's where I'll be at. So here is Future Sake, produced by yours truly. This is a song about the pandemic and how we need to come together to get through this. So here is Future Sake, produced by me. Ease Dark on the track. Ease Dog on the track. This is an Ease Dog public service announcement. We're dealing with something serious. This coronavirus. We got to work together for future sake. It's affected the world from your old grandparent to your little girl. For future sake, find a way to a cure for better days. For future sake, so this pandemic will go away. Come on. For future sake, y'all listen to the words that I have to say. Everybody in the world going through hard times. It's your boy Ian Star with these hard rhymes. It's a cold red down here, major crisis. Killing more people than the ISIS. Face to the bullshit coronavirus. We got to work together. We must fight this. But the elderly kids, they are vulnerable. Gotta play it safe, this shit ain't curable. People be taking this as a joke. It's all from the game to the casket close. And imagine in the hospital fighting for life. And you don't know if you're gonna live or die. This ain't no flu, but COVID is real. Over 1 million have fallen ill. Now it's up to us to battle this killer. You think that I'm playing, just read the figures. It's affected the world from your old grandparent to your little girl. Yeah. For a future sake, find a way to a cure for a better day. Come on. For a future sake, so this pandemic will go away. That's right. For a future sake, y'all listen to the words that I have to say. Every day I wake up, someone's infected. If you're sick or not sick, everyone's affected. People losing their jobs, can't pay the bills. Everything's closed down, shit's getting real. Making up the worst, everyone is stressing. They already talking about another recession. Can't go to the store without no worry. Everything's all gone, it's the same old story. Whole world is at a standstill for now. Every major city has done shut down. Nightlife is dead and dining is out. Can't do anything with bigger crowd. Stay home, stay safe, or it is in place. Do you keep America great, America safe? We can do our part to make this better. We can all be strong through any weather. It's affected the world from your old grandparent to your little girl. For a future sake, find a way to a cure for a better day. For a future sake, so this pandemic will go away. For a future sake, y'all listen to the words that I have to say. Pandemic will be over sooner or later. It will take cooperation, say a prayer. Take 6 feet, practice social distancing. Here's my advice, are you listening? Keep your hands washed and sanitized. Fight down everything where germs will thrive. If we all do this, this is a brighter day. Be easy, be great, and y'all stay safe. Yeah. and that was the Pandemic Jam, Future Sake. And just like the song said, we gotta do our thing for future sake, though. Like straight up, like practice social distancing, keep hands washed and sanitized, and a whole lot working together. And we came a long way, though, and stuff, though. I mean, after a year and stuff of dealing with this, we'll be able to get through this finally. Like straight up. Like, I mean, we already got one place open up for open mic and stuff, though. Now we can go ahead and get the Kava bar open up for open mic and stuff, though. Once again, oh yes, it'll be great. I know everybody's been waiting for me to get back on that stage, though, for real. But yeah, I don't know if anybody want me to do one more track and stuff, though. Shoot, I mean, I don't know, y'all pressing for time and stuff, though, right now and stuff, though. I mean, unless y'all want to request and stuff, though. Yeah, I know some of y'all and stuff, though, mention. All right. Yes, I'm definitely doing one more. Shoot. See which one you want me to do and stuff, though. Shoot, y'all know my tracks from A to Z. Well, shoot, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make it up right now. I know y'all better than I know myself, but I know y'all want to hear that red drink. Somebody already done bet me to it, though. Everybody already bet me to that red drink. Shoot, you know what? That's exactly what I'm about to do. I'm about to go ahead, hit y'all with that red drink right now, and y'all gonna love this one and stuff, though. Yes, y'all already know about that red drink. I'm about to get y'all on that red drink right now. So here is Red Drink, produced by me under my beat moniker Ease Dog on the track. Let's go. Ease Dog on the track. Where my zip is at? Where my motherfucking zip is at? Where my zip is at? Where my motherfucking zip is at? Where my zip is at? Where my motherfucking zip is at? Where my zip is at? I'm on that Kool-Aid. I'm on that high C. I'm on that red cherry, not the icy. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. I'm sipping watermelon. No Beyonce. Put a rain on it. No Beyonce. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. East Doggy Dog coming with that juice. 1800s with the Welches make you loose. TURN, what you gonna do? I'ma take 7 cups for the crew. On this killer Kool-Aid, R.I.P. Got enough for everybody, but with me. If you reppin' your hood, throw it up. It's a red drink, party, pull it up. I'm on that Kool-Aid. I'm on that high C. I'm on that red cherry, not the icy. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. I'm sipping watermelon. No Beyonce. Put a rain on it. No Beyonce. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. I'm on that red drink. I'm on that red shit. If you're happy and you know it, drink some happy juice. Yep. Mix it up with some candy and some apple juice. Yep. This ain't no fruit punch, this some grown shit. There no bottles, no worries, bring my own shit. I be chillin' like a boss, like that Maybach. Sippin' drinkin' just like this dog laid back. My swag is cold, red, call 911. Right? On the Patrick Star shit, about to go to dumb. I'm on that Kool-Aid, I'm on that high C. I'm on that red cherry, not the icy. I'm on that red drink, I'm on that red shit. I'm on that red drink, I'm on that red shit. I'm sipping watermelon, no Beyonce. Put a rain on it, no Beyonce. I'm on that red drink, I'm on that red shit. I'm on that red drink, I'm on that red shit. Stick in my cup, feeling like Kevin just giving no fuck, giving no fuck. Double my cup, they be faking, just lean in my cup, lean in my cup. Leave me alone, leave me alone. In my own zone, in my own zone. Where I be on, if I am on that patrol. Tipping and tipping, the face that I know I be on the floor tripping. Taking them empty shots, shooting them up like I'm pimping. All my bartenders, give me up another one. Coming back home, left it, I know I be gone. Yeah. Where my tip is at? Where my motherfucking tip is at? It's doggy dog, where my tip is at? Where my motherfucking tip is at? No Kava, what's up? What's up? Where my motherfucking tip is at? Oh yeah, that was the red drink joint. Everybody knows about that red drink by now. Haha. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Yes, I told you I was going to get y'all on that red drink. But right now, I'm about to go ahead and sign off here shortly, though. But before I do, I want to let y'all know that the Ashes Finest music video is still out. Y'all go ahead, get on that YouTube, check out my Ashes Finest music video. Type in Ashes Finest or type in East Dog on the YouTube search engine. And don't forget to check out my hot songs on my SoundCloud. Check out SoundCloud, East Doggy Dogs. Just type in East Dog on search engine of SoundCloud too. And if you haven't followed me, just type in East Doggy Dog on Instagram. Once again, follow me at East Doggy Dog. I got good stuff on there too. And know whenever I'm going to be performing next, keep up with me or just listen to some of my classics, Reverb Nation exclusives, Reverb Nation / East Dog, or just keep up with me on my East Dog Facebook page. You know where I'm going to be doing this. And like I said, East Doggy Dog have a whole lot of shit in store and stuff though for the 2021. Y'all just go ahead and keep up with me. When in doubt, Google East Dog.
That's right, you heard it. Google East Dog. Yeah, Ease. 2021 is gonna be hot. It's coming. We'll be bringing the open mic back soon. We don't know exactly when yet, but just keep up with us, and we'll keep doing this virtual thing for now. So keep coming back here every Wednesday night, and I look forward to things to come. Thank you for stopping by tonight.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, appreciate it, Ease. I really enjoyed the music, and
no problem.
I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I got the Heart of the Streets coming out soon, though. So y'all look out for that too.
That's right. Yeah, keep up with him on SoundCloud and Instagram and all that good stuff, and we'll look out for that new track soon. I hope you'll come here and perform it when it comes out.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Hell yeah. Word. Well, everybody give it up one more time for Ease Dog. Thank you so much, Ease. Appreciate you.
All right, you know it. You know it. Thanks once again.
Peace.
Y'all be
easy. That's right. Ease Doggy Dog in the house. Wow. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's been such a great night so far. I think we have, yes, at least one more performer for you. Do we have Emilio connected? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. All right. Cool. Emilio Maldonado. Yes. I'm gonna do this poem by W.S. Merwin. This is called The Present. As they were leaving the garden, one of the angels bent down to them and whispered, "I am to give you this as you are leaving the garden. I do not know what it is or what it is for, what you will do with it. You will not be able to keep it, but you will not be able to keep anything." Yet they both reached at once for the present, and when their hands met, they laughed. They laughed. I think we got Emilio Maldonado connected here in Chicago tonight. It's a good time with Emilio. But thanks for keeping it locked here tonight. This has been Poetry Open Mic Asheville. We got Emilio, and if we had anyone else, I don't know, but I'll close it out with some poems after that. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to our feature tonight, Raquel Flowers Rivera. It's been an awesome night, y'all. Alright, keep it locked here. We're gonna beam in Emilio. Y'all gotta make a bunch of noise, though. You know what to do. Jump up and down, scream and shout. Give it up for Emilio Maldonado. Oh, I'm not Emilio. Hold on. Try that one more time. Jump up and down, scream and shout. Emilio Maldonado.
What up, what up?
B?
Hey. How's it going, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Before I answer that question.
Yeah.
What a fucking night, man. You had some
Dude.
incredible readings, incredible performances. Just
know,
real
man.
cool, you know.
I'm humbled by it all.
I'm really glad that, you know, I was thinking about it when today I got to listen to a lot of the show even before I got home.
Oh, cool.
So I was able to hear Dr. Flowers Rivera.
Dr. Rivera, yeah.
And then I didn't hear the whole set by them, but I heard a lot of it. And, you know, I was actually walking around and I got to hear, like I was walking around like in, you know, like regular people, like in a store while I'm listening to Zen's set. And
oh, yeah, man.
This is far out, man, you know.
What an experience.
Yeah, it was so cool. I'm just kind of like standing there trying to like not be rude when
I love that, walking around in some store in Chicago. Like,
yeah, and because I was looking for some replacement headphones for the ones I've been using.
Cool.
They went kaput. So you know, I'm talking to this young sales associate, and I'm really trying not to be rude because I mean, you know, he's trying to help me. But meanwhile, I'm like trying to like also like listen to what Zen's saying. So
you're like lost in this poetry.
I'm just kind of like
also trying to,
you know,
check out at the
listening to the gun that played James Brown. I'm like, you know, that was such a name that tune moment for me too. It's like right away, like James Brown, that, you know.
Yeah, you're like sucked in. You
Yeah,
know?
by the second that
But-
I was like James Brown, you know.
Yeah, and the sales associate's like, oh, come on, man.
Right,
Like-
right. And then he's like, said something to me, and I'm going, wait, what happened? Like, you know,
How much?
yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that's cool. Like he said something, and the appropriate response was something like, "Oh, okay, I understand." And I was just like, "Yeah, that's all right, that's cool." And I was just like, I could tell like he was kind of like, "Wait, did you just square peg me, dude?" Okay. And yeah, it was cool. So anyhow, I got to listen to a bunch of the performances, and it was
Oh yeah.
you know, and I'm driving in my car and listening to Kevin Evans and that C harp that he just got.
Kevin Evans.
You know?
Oh man.
And I'm just like, and I know you guys,
I'm loving the harp on his stuff, man. That's
yeah.
awesome.
You know, and man, I was really going down my own like little memory lane.
Mm-hmm.
I was remembering this Chicago poet, poet from Chicago, but he is actually from Nigeria, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Mai Ojisuwa. So hold on really quick. This is from Mai.
Jeez.
And Mai used to bring his own flutes.
Oh, cool.
And play, and some of them.
Oh, and we had flute tonight too.
Yeah. And right, and but that was like Mai's thing. And Mai, when he first started showing up to Weeds, we could barely understand him. He had like such a heavy, thick accent. Like he had just learned English recently, you know? Yeah. But he wrote these almost melodic pieces. So even when he wasn't playing, he would have this more like a canto kind of a performance with it. Yeah. So he's like, and I mean, I'm not talking like, you know, how some of us like will mix in like some songs or sing a little. Like there's this song-like quality to his readings, you know.
In many cultures, I mean, poetry was traditionally sung.
Right. No. Right. It was it was one of the ways that. Totally. And so, anyhow, so he would do that, and he would play occasionally in his pieces some flute, and like a couple of times he had made the flutes, you know.
Yeah.
But he was a Chicago cab driver for a long time.
Yeah, way cool, man.
Yeah. Anyhow, that performance by Kevin made me think of Mr. Mai.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when stuff takes you back like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, so there was
see those
it was just like some cool. Yeah, right. Rachel's story. I was actually. Yeah. So neat.
Incredible.
Just, you know, and then when I was like listening to it. I wasn't watching the video feed, but I caught like a glimpse of the video, and I liked how, you know, she was like sitting to the side of the camera, and
she had the perfect perfect camera angle for that.
I know, but she was
it was really good. It was
she was really enjoying
as well as writing.
The reading of it. Right. Yeah. She was really like enjoying reading it, like you know, and enjoying like the performing of it. Like she was having a lot of fun. I felt like that. I felt like she was having fun.
Well, and I mean that's when it's all right. That's when it's right, you know, when you're when you're performing. I mean, like you should be, even though it can be terrifying sometimes.
Oh God!
When you're in that moment, you know, you gotta enjoy it a little bit at some point.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I would, you know, I would on the regular have that you know, that shaking leg.
Sure,
you know, that was
to this day. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So gets
not have.
Yeah.
And but anyhow, man, it was just cool to watch it. And I missed your performance. Like if you had read I
of
missed
course
it.
you did.
Yeah. So I'm,
No,
I'm
I'm
looking
just
forward to listening to you.
Yeah, I'll read some
after.
shit.
Yeah, you always do
Yeah.
that extra, like, oh yeah, this is the boss level of the night.
Well, I like doing the last set. I have fun
Yeah.
with the last set because I feel like the first set's like kind of like that's like it's almost like the sacrificial spot, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like I
Okay.
gotta go out there like I'm kind of stiff. I'm trying to warm everybody
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Just
Makes sense.
get
Right.
the warm the whole show up, get the get people tuned in, get the
Sure,
vibe going,
sure. Right.
kind of build some energy up, and then hand it over to the feature, and then hopefully it's going at that point. Everyone's
Yeah.
feeling the energy.
Well, yeah, because you got to set the artistic table, when
Yeah.
you do that, and that's a real task to, hey, y'all, who is, socializing and romanticizing each other just now. Whew, poetry time,
Yeah.
open mic time.
Well, and it's harder to gauge like in the virtual thing, like when I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it in the live room on a Wednesday night, we might have 100 people at the Kava bar or something, and literally, and then I got to get on stage and like focus that room, like you've got
Yeah.
50 people in the room talking, having their conversations,
Right.
everything.
Right.
You got to get up on stage and spit some poems and
Right.
that's how you get people to shut, not by getting up and making, hey, everyone quiet down.
We were talking about
fuck
this.
that shit,
Yeah, we were
get
just
on
talking about this.
stage
Yeah,
and
right.
get their attention with the art, and bring it down, and like, yeah, you talk, you sometimes that's, shouting to a room, sometimes it's like getting really into it,
Right, yeah.
it's just you got to feel the room and start to work with the people in the room, work with the crowd,
Right.
yeah, so it's definitely a different thing, but it's kind of similar in some respects for sure. And
the way you do it,
and my
it
point
doesn't
was,
feel like you aren't in a room with like
Yeah.
other people. Like it doesn't.
yeah,
If like
yeah, it's different.
you do a really good job at that, man. Like
Well,
it doesn't
thank you.
feel like you're faking it. Like I feel like
Oh,
you
no,
know
no,
when I'm listening to it. No, but you know what I'm saying. Like it feels like you're there.
Yeah, it's got that hanging out kind of feel.
Yeah.
And I think also what was cool, the feel of it, is that this time of night at the open mic, things would kind of slow down too,
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people still tuning in. There's a few people left in the room, like,
Oh, yeah,
and,
right.
and we can really engage. And sometimes these were some of my favorite parts of the night. Not like the height of the night when there's a ton of people in the room and you're shouting poetry and there's everyone's,
Okay.
it's fun. I mean, that's awesome too. But like sometimes
Yeah,
there's
right.
like intimate moments you get at the end of the night.
Yes.
When
Oh,
I would
yeah.
like get up on the bar and read poetry,
Yeah.
or just like talk to people like in the audience, like, how you doing, like,
Yeah, right on,
and,
man.
like we're doing now, and so like so I always had a lot of fun with my last like the later set in the night, because I don't know, you can really just kind of let loose, try some weird stuff.
That sounds cool though. I like that because
yeah.
For all the years that I was devoted and a champion of the old weeds place, like, man, the end of the night, it really only worked if everybody who was left was like in the awake drunk versus the fallen asleep drunk, because it's really late when all and then also like if some of those nights they would go long because there was no the open mic could go until close, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how many people are there and how many people are on the list. Like everybody gets to read was almost the guarantee at the old weeds,
cool. Yeah, if you hang around long enough, yeah.
Right. You got to, but we're not going to bump you, like,
right, yeah.
A lot of open mics, that's not how it works, and
Yeah.
and you're lucky
Unless
if you get on
some cash or something.
Hey man, how about this nice joint?
Yeah, something.
Hey, I have gold stickers. Anyhow, uh, but I like that approach to changing it up and matching and being inspired and kind of freestyling it like that, because for anybody who would be sticking around, it's like, yeah, man, this is like, it would be like a, the second set is when the band is gonna, like, okay, now they're gonna play for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
You
Same
know?
with music,
Right.
I mean, yeah, after you get loosened up, it's fun. You can go on
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, I like that.
But anyway, we do have some folks still tuned in. You got some poems for these fine folks?
I do. I got a, so really briefly, like I was kind of feeling a little in the sort of melancholy, kind of the melancholies, uh not like the crushing doubt or anything like that, but just the damn, sort of feeling.
Yeah.
And then right before, like as I was like starting to log in and look at the poems, I got some like bad like family news. So it's like, oh damn, But I didn't. I'm interested because I had started to put my list together of poems. So I'm wondering if it's going to affect like what I selected, or is it going to affect it? How it's gonna translate. Because I already had this, like I said, I was already going to kind of put in them, kind of like, the sad boy blues kind of thing. But
Yeah.
now it's a
But
little bit.
like, how does your like headspace at the moment affect what you?
Yeah. And I mean, when we were talking, I
your
was like, you know what?
performance.
Let's have a conversation, because I didn't want to dive into
Yeah.
this like me part of it when I really was enjoying what I got to see, and
Totally, man.
everybody's like effort and dedication. Ease Dog, always.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I love these.
yeah, and so anyhow, I didn't want to start onto the downer shit. I wanted to kind of talk about all that cool stuff. But
Hell yeah, man.
but
No, I
I'm
love
not
it.
even trying to kind of like pull on the udders. Like right now, I'm kind of just like commenting like, well, that's where I'm at. So
Well, and I
but
think,
yeah,
I mean, that's what we do with this, with these poetry readings and stuff. It's like catharsis, man. I mean, you get
yeah,
up there, you take that melancholic energy,
Right.
and turn it into art,
right,
like someone else did before tonight.
yeah,
What I mean?
right, yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
what we do.
I got some really really old stuff that I haven't read.
Oh,
Although
cool.
I've read in
Old
its time
shit.
a lot. Yeah. But then I've got the new poems I've been writing over the last 2 weeks, and then a brand new one.
All right, new
So-
shit.
So at the end, so
Yeah.
there's like a span of about 15 years, I think, between the oldest to the newest.
Wow, far out, man.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to hear it. Thank you for being here, Emilio.
Thank
I'll
you,
turn
man.
it over to you, and everybody out there, make a whole bunch of
Big love
noise.
to your brother Morgan too. Big love to
Oh yeah,
brother Morgan.
always shout out to Morgan, our technical director, for sure. Shout out to the Kava Bar, the sponsor, and all the way live from Chicago tonight, Emilio Maldonado. Give it up, y'all. Give it up.
Extra graphics. Extra graphics. That was cool. So I don't normally refer to this poem by its like subtitle, but I will tonight. It's my Whitman poem, but the proper name of it is Christina. I thought about fucking you, feeling you bend and breathe and come in my hand. I wonder how you look when your cheeks flush. Are you surprised? Do you come angry? Do you look at me? Did you see the fear of living I carry? ¿Vistes mi tortura? The impossible weight of 10 train cars rolls 20 feet above the street. Normally, the thunder lulls me to sleep. Instead, I'm staring into space, into the black Chicago River, thinking about the color that you blush, the color that you flush, the dream you told about. The next time. I remembered that I've only kissed you once on your head. I felt hands through my hair that weren't yours. I think I was clean shaven mostly, or maybe I had some sort of crazy ass scraggly beard. The kind that was at sea for years and kicked around port towns, looking for girls, sometimes settling for boys. It's springtime, but it's hot like today. Your belly has sweat all over it. Your pussy has us all over it. This is Bus Ride Bebop. Alcoholics Anonymous, 28 days, 3 months, 5 months, 8 months. Talking about coins. Look to the back for rhymes still born. See the scars on my heart? A beat stillmatic. A neighborhood waiting for renewal. Look to the back in a pint of vodka. Brown bag incognito. Twist the cap. Break the seal. Another comrade lost in years. The old fisherman smiles out the window, winces and chuckles to himself. Not to me. We're riding south on Western. He's looking at Cyprus and the boats with the long days healed. The long-haired girls that keep him on the island, even after the discovery of blonde hair. He isn't a danger to the young girls conniving on the cell phone, making open invitations. It's 5 minutes of Chicago street jazz. Rain is composing a lullaby. Tlalolak wrote Cosmic once. My hand searches for a heart that it will consume. A heart panicked and desperate, having lost its memory. Con cuernos. Rests. 1,000 miles in one direction feels safe. Feels home. They kept the chandeliers. Barbecue around the corner, cheap beers, my favorite crowd. And of course, Fred is still here. I hear a man singing, God damn it! Some love after midnight, but battered and seduced with the rhythm. I love it and don't know why. Speaking tongues with instruments. The man played on. His art propelled him in exquisite agony for us to bear witness. Creation has no pause. It kneels before none, but bows carefully and at your service. Slow enter a stage barefoot to these blues, the Chicago African blues. Right here on Cermak in Indiana, a witness to planets and universes being born. Strange left, up and down quarks get sexed. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, a holy trinity if I ever. Antiquity is dead. Long live modern man. Disconnected, shipwrecked, forlorn and abandoned. Viva! is a French influence. Need to see paintings, plays, photos. Need to see bravery. Need to see shame. I want an earthquake. I want my heart to race as it once did, against time, against myself. I want it to win. I need to let my eyes win sometimes. I could use a waltz, or maybe some free and unbiased tears. Red rock dust underneath my clothes blown there by a determined wind. Or was it a silly dream I once had? She rode on a bicycle and smiled, and we never stopped talking 10 years ago. And we sang to each other. We spoke gibberish, danced Otis Redding, and laughed in each other's arms. The redhead tips a smile my crooked way, and red winds me to paint with her. A brush with fear, early morning lights, early morning fights to stay alive, to stay relevant. Agony, agony, agony. I need a waltz, a painting, an earthquake. Ignorantly, I feel you. I smell you. I know you too. It's always your eyes. Then, when blindfolded, it's your mouth, your lips, or your eyebrows, a furrowed brow, your positioning, the danger, and or commitment, the vulnerability and bravery, the recklessness, the total joy, the total surrender, the total command. God damn. Total. This control, both fighting and running from. Release. Tenderness never leaves. Starch sheets offer their own forms of discipline. Bindings, the familiar. Whispers and shouts. The infinite levels of fantasy and desire. You lay there, an offering, a commandment, a journey, deserve, has everything to do with it. The time travel that happened between engaged souls deep underneath the moans and laughter. The agreements and begging. Behind the electric soundscape of mood and beats is blood. It pulses and rushes. It's carrying this rhythm that builds, gets set aside, renews, and cries out repeatedly if you were lucky. I can hear the record stop playing. Hiss of the speakers. A storm had burst earlier, non-rhythmic raindrops on metal in the background, and the sound of each you. Breaths, bed groans, other sounds. Spanglish in my head, exhortations to once worshipped forces, icons, and ideas. Gimme Danger by the Stooges serenades these musings. Encased in glass and steel, I catch the lazy drift to reflexes. Knocked off my donkey. Thankfully, my sight remains. I regard will and the fierce wind. All right, I got two more. Why didn't you go out and start missing something? and realizing it was me. I need Emilio. Where is? Why didn't he come? I need to see Emilio. And I'd get to make an entrance, and a studio audience would Fonzie me onto the stage. I didn't get a call. Nobody called, but especially not you, because you stayed in. Because you went out and wouldn't be wondering how to fill the something with a bouncing ball with me. I wish people had closed captioning sometimes. I don't understand sometimes. I get confused sometimes. I just blipped to the end of the night. I'm sweating because I'm old and fat. Because I'm wearing a poncho inside and standing. Did I impress the white kid yet? The bartender thinks I look familiar? I always do. I'm coming up for air. She didn't call. Nobody called. It's a fucking pandemic. My tío died. Will she call ever? I'm a shitheel. Need another drink. I'm sweating. I'm on no one's mind. Nobody called me. She hadn't called me. My desires aren't done justice by silly pens. Ultimately, it falls to ballpoint. My desires and fantasies are running now. It's been a while since they stretched, darted, climbed, leapt, and ran hard. I just saw a photo of you. After seeing other photos of you, some for many, others done long ago. Does that matter? How long? Some sent to me without veils, a few just for me, without any semblance of permission or control. Caresses on my face and chest. Secret thought of vulnerability and undeserved trust. A fool's hope that karma left a gate unwatched, and a butcher's bill can be put on layaway, comeuppance in installment payments. Financed by Cook Brothers or stores on 47th, brown or black side, run by otros inmigrantes atrevidos. Not Gloria Trevi or Alejandra Guzman, Ahmed from Bridgeview, Singh from Highwood. It's hope, too. Misguided, premature hope splayed on my bed, on my face, in my pants. Too stupid or clueless to think I can get to my seat without being noticed. Que los perros duermen. Candela! Emborrachado de sueños y lágrimas sin sostén, sin tierra para florecer. Un piano boogaloo, una salsa dura, los bongos, pegado con emociones inmerecidas, vapor y humo. Te busco en mi soledad. Te encuentro solo, drinking my coffee, stoned and drunk, self-consciously sweating fearlessly in lust, feeling imagined hierarchies from places reserved by others' blood, bravery, and threats. Those eyes. Manos vibran sobre piel de tambor, cuero y desencuero. Those fucking nails. El cantante pidiéndole a Dios, condenado por otro diablo, condenado por el mismo Dios que rechaza mentirosos y ladrones. That glimpse of your knee. I'm nearly destroyed. I muster some harmony. ¿Qué problema con Mariana? El que se encontró mi pana. Star charts are written, are conjured, deciphered, lost, burnt. Those eyes, bro. Doo-wop oldies try to slow the fire in my chest, still shaking. I'm flying home. North side sidewalk segments are consumed in strides that belong to the 80s. Crosswalks, street lights, late night menace, and run-of-the-mill drunk drivers become light trails. Psilocybin knows what's up. The night breeze propels, fights, blesses, permits my flight home, my mad dash to a bar stool. This, it was a photo only, mine, in doubt only. All right, thanks.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. I love that last one especially.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't read that here, right?
Did you?
I thought I wrote it after I read here.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, damn. I thought that was brand new. I mean, it's brand new to me.
No, I think it is brand new.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Yeah. Digging it, man.
Yeah, man.
Cool shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I gotta say one of my favorite readings of yours on here has been the time that you joined us from the Cook County Hospital.
Yeah.
And the sleep studies place.
Right.
Like
right.
whispering your poems to us. Hoping the nurse didn't walk in.
Right. That's hilarious.
That'll always go down in open mic history.
Yeah.
For sure.
Here I'm trying to come up with like the best not in my room type of reading. It's like, you already did it, dude. You just didn't mean to do it. Like shh, you know? It's like I want to it's like nah, dude. It was like this. That was it.
It was fantastic, all of it. Well, dude, Amelia, thank you for being here. It's always good to see you. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss this when it's done.
Say what?
I'm gonna miss this when it's done.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully we can at least keep some version of this going. And anyway, once we start doing the in person again, that's a good sign that we'll be ready to party down here in Asheville. So,
oh yeah, man. No. For
yeah,
you
man.
guys and everything, absolutely. It's just like, I like seeing though, Christopher and and some folks
definitely.
that probably I can't remember the dude's name from San Francisco who was bopping in. Yeah,
Was that
yeah,
Dan?
yeah. He was bopping in
there's
for a
a
while
couple
there.
other Bay Area folks who join in too.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, totally. I mean, that's been one of the real joys of it, is being able to connect people from all over the country and all over the world too.
For real, all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Morocco and Ireland.
Morocco, yeah, and a couple different UK folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll keep it going for now, And I hope you can make it back next week. It's always good to hear from you.
Next week, I just may be on a different location.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see. We'll stay tuned and see. But everybody, give a big round of applause for Emilio Maldonado. Thanks for being here, Emilio.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
Love, Caleb.
Much love. Emilio! Yeah! It's Emilio Maldonado. Y'all give it up. Keep it going. Thank you. Yes, it's been a fantastic evening. Yes, we will. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And yes, keep it locked right here. Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Yes, indeed. Thank you for tuning in tonight. My name's Caleb Beissert. Our featured poet was Art Flowers Rivera. And you can check them out there and buy the book. And shout out to our technical director Morgan Beissert and our sponsor Sovereign Kava. Thanks to everyone who shared on the mic tonight. We really appreciate y'all. And please keep coming back and joining us. We're here each and every Wednesday night, 8:30 midnight. And we really appreciate the support. We appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. And just everyone, thank you so much. Alright, I'm going to close it out with a few poems. Thanks for listening. Alright, I'll do a brand new one. This is called Turn Up Heat. Another night at the bar, Withers. Withers, I lost my drink. Someone must have stolen it. They haven't bussed the tables for hours. A trio swings in the corner, LED lights that think to themselves. The old heaters click and buzz. It's getting magical in here. The thump of the bass drum glides. I'm getting pixelated. I'm down for whatever, along for the ride. Feathers from above fall around us. Don't stop blowing that sweet saxophone. All right. And this is an older one. This is called Device for Distilling Lunar Humidity. And I wrote this after a drawing that I saw in an alchemist manuscript at the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. The Getty. Device for Distilling Lunar Humidity. A crucible holds flesh-like water, through which astral salt filters, universe mercury, salt of metals. From this aqua viscose, vegetables, animals, minerals, sustained by the dew of the stars. At their cores, infused by lunar and solar moisture, crafted of earth and spirit, lightning echoes in little jars and gallery walls, this elusive essence. Robbed of this, they suffocate and decay. What eyes can't see these tools will render in alembic flashes, purple dust of fermented thought. Walk across this grass to the threshold of forest and time. The old book contained a diagram for an apparatus to attract lunar humidity. Collected through a cone connected to 3 cucurbits, distilling the fine dew and essence of the moon, and all dark winter nights included. The alchemist in seas of loneliness, his deep contemplation of leaves on balconies, over cobbled stone streets that end in forest. Blue lutes droned from somewhere under the moon, the humidity visible on the breath of every animal, On each path, guided by moonlight from ravines and cliffs, poured onto the roads and wind-swept miles pouring into rivers that pour dreams into ears. Moonbeams touch the warm temples of the sleeping one, learning a new alphabet in dreams, with the unknown speaking in dialects unknown, turning into different form. Nothing can be captured, only changed as we change, constant, like the turning of dew into vapor and back again, splitting self into patterns of blood, gold, cinnabar, subliming mercury, brimstone, quicksilver, vermilion of the mountains of the moon, radiating water like feather down, descending on the morning grass as breath rises from those that breathe. Deep winter sky, red night. Droplets collect in the jars as the alchemist recalibrates the apparatus. And this one's called Really Good Sex. An old blind woman in Mongolia suddenly is stricken with sight. And this next one is called Wheel Turning in Wind. I am wild for the lion tamer. There's nothing I can say she doesn't know. And this is called Forest Elegy Number 1. My friend told me of the 30-year-old owl whose tree died and had to be cut down. And inside the hollow of the tree, they found over 300 cat collars. And this one's called Grandmother's Dad. I remember flowers. People keep bringing them. Coat and ties, saying such serious things. Go away. These strange orchids do not comfort me. The mailman is not my friend today. I push fire trucks. Police cars, lions, flowers keep arriving. And I'll leave y'all tonight with a little Rumi of the Barks translation, the ancient Sufi mystic Jalaluddin Rumi. To the Coleman Barks. But do check out our feature poet, R. Flowers Rivera. Troubling Accents and Heathen are the books you can find at Promethea.com. Thank you. And, yeah. Thanks again to her. Thanks again, everyone. It's been a good night. Here's some Rumi for y'all. Y'all take care. Be safe out there. Cheers. A dove in the eaves. When I press my hand to my chest, it is your chest. And now, you're scratching my head. Sometimes, you put me in the herd with your other camels. Sometimes you place me at the front of the troops as the commander. Sometimes you wet me with your mouth like you do your seal ring just before you plant your power. Sometimes you round me into a simple door knocker. You take blood and make sperm. You take sperm and create an animal. You use the animal to evolve intelligence. Life keeps leading to more life. You drive me away gently, as a flute song does a dove from the eaves. You drive me away gently, as a flute song does a dove from the eaves. With the same song, you call me back. With the same song, you call me back. You push me out on many journeys. Then you anchor me with no motion at all. I am water. I am the thorn that catches someone's clothing. I don't care about marvelous sights. I only want to be in your presence. There's nothing to believe. Only when I quit believing in myself did I come into this beauty. Only when I quit believing in myself did I come into this beauty. I saw your blade and burned my shield. I flew on 600 pairs of wings like Gabriel. But now that I'm here, what do I need wings for? Day and night, I guarded the pearl of my soul. Now, in this ocean of purling currents, I've lost track of which was mine. Day and night I guarded the pearl of my soul. Now, in this ocean of purling currents, I've lost track of which was mine. I've lost track of which was mine. I've lost track of which was mine. I've lost track. I've lost track. I've lost track of which was mine. Thanks for coming over, Mike, tonight. Take this feeling we've created here. Take it with you. Do something good with it. See you next time. My name's Caleb Beissert. Our technical director is Morgan Beissert. Our sponsor is Sovereign Kava. I've lost track. I've lost track of which was mine in the purling current. I've lost track.
Mike Milner on the keyboards, Jason Moore on saxophone, Aaron Price on bass, Chris Cooper on guitar. I'm Caleb Beissert. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. It means a lot. Y'all take care of your barkeeps. Get home safe. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime. Cheers.